Is Jakob Chychrun leaving Arizona sometime soon?
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball, over to Crosby. He scores! Crosby, 500!
Watch this play between the legs, comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
In the net, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it up. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno, he scores!
With a lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin score! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Welcome back, motherfuckers, to another Pucked Up Podcast.
Fuck yeah.
I am Danger Water. Did you say puck yeah?
No, I said fuck yeah.
I was hoping you said puck, yeah. That would have been way
But
funnier.
puck yeah is like a total vibe right now.
Dude, for real.
Especially in hockey.
No, I usually go with the more cursey of the words. So,
That is
That's
true.
fair. That is fair.
you know, hey motherfuckers instead of
Like, hey, motherfuckers, instead of welcome back,
Yeah.
motherfuckers. If you haven't heard that podcast, you should go listen to it.
Absolutely, that was a banger.
Yeah.
That's a banger. We were,
Yeah.
you know, these are week-to-week thing, and some weeks we're just on a different gaming level than we are.
We're on a different plane of existence some weeks.
Usually. Usually.
Let's be real.
Every week it's a different plane.
Oh my god.
Fucking for sure. Some
Leave
weeks
Becky
it's
alone.
due to alcohol, other weeks it's not. Other weeks
Some
that's
weeks
just
it's
how we
due to
talk.
whatever hockey game we're watching.
Yeah,
Like me
for
right
real.
now.
For
Fucking
real.
wild.
True.
But welcome back. With me today, as always, is the gorgeous, ever lovely D-Bag 91, the loveliest D-Bag out there. I'm gonna run that joke into the ground because I said it once. It was funny as fuck to me.
Yeah.
Probably to nobody else, but to me, and that's a good thing.
I'll go
As well as Chris, who's our fearless leader.
I love it. And as well as Chris. Yep, again, that's
Well,
Yeah,
I said
that's
our
the fit.
lovely,
That's the mood.
fearless
It's okay.
leader.
She did say lovely, fearless.
so
She
here's-
did say
But she
lovely,
laughed in the
fearless.
middle of it.
91, the loveliest of all the D-Bags. And
And then Chris.
the douchiest of all the D-Bags is Chris.
Right?
Is that better for you?
Kind of accurate. Also, I don't know.
You're
I'd
not
like to
wrong.
think of a nice guy.
You're a nice guy.
Also,
99% of the time.
can we all take a moment to acknowledge that for the first time, I think, on this podcast, we're all wearing hockey-related merch?
No, second time.
No,
we all
is
had
it the second
jerseys
time?
on
For
when
reverse
we did the
retro.
reverse retro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is
We
the
all had
second time we're
jerseys.
all wearing
Which,
hockey apparel.
To be fair, that wasn't a full podcast. That was an exclusive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was an additional for the week that
I'm
you were
wearing my
gonna be
Moose
out.
Crossing shirt. So
And I'm
love it.
wearing this.
And then
Your
I've
shirt.
got
Awesome.
I've got a jersey on. The
Nice,
Ducks
nice.
25th anniversary alternate jersey.
I just finished washing my jersey from the last time
Well,
I
this
wore
will
it.
come out after my kid opens presents, so I can say it. But he's getting like 2 years ago, I got him the Mighty Ducks Banks jersey because he's from Eden
Nice.
Prairie,
Love
which
it,
is not
love
far
it.
from
Yeah.
Edina, where Banks was from. And this year he's getting the like green old school, because that one's like the old Mighty, like the
The original actual
Ducks.
Anaheim Mighty Ducks jersey.
And he wore it like when the Wild played Anaheim, and like
Nice.
a bunch of like Anaheim fans though were like, nice jersey. And he kept thinking that like he's like, everybody thinks I'm an Anaheim fan. I'm like, Matt, that movie
No.
was filmed and based in Minnesota. You wear that
Yeah.
jersey like it's your
People don't give a fuck, and everyone they're like,
Right,
"You're just this
yeah.
is dope."
No, it's just cool
And-
because you're wearing like a Mighty Ducks jersey.
Right,
Like any
yeah,
90s
and, like, it
kid
has
is gonna
nothing
think it's a
to do
sick
with
jersey.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
old Anaheim logo or whatever.
Right.
Like Anaheim got that logo from the movie.
From the
Like,
movies.
Yeah.
And there's a couple that had overheard us in line with me talking to him as he's like trying to take this jersey off because he was just got butthurt by it. It's fine. And the couple was so sweet and turned around and were like, no, dude, like, that's awesome. Don't take it off. Like, that's an awesome jersey. But, so now he gets the Conway one, too. So he'll have
that's
both
awesome.
Charlie and Bates.
Dude,
That's cool.
I had such a fucking crush on Charlie Conway. Let me just tell you.
I think we all did.
My God.
My little heart. But also...
Well, Joshua Jackson in general. Because, like, Joshua Jackson in the Skulls,
Well,
fucking
he's-
top
say-
tier.
And he still looks
the
good.
way,
He
the
still
way
looks
that I
good.
felt about the Bash Brothers.
Oh, my God.
Mm.
It did things, right? And I'm
It did
like,
things.
I love goalies.
It was an awakening, for
Goldberg,
sure.
like, was I didn't have a
It's
crush
an
on Goldberg, but I
awakening.
wanted to be best friends with Goldberg, right? Like,
Right.
Oh yeah.
but goalies have always
Goalies
been
are
top, in my
everything.
opinion.
Yeah.
The fact that they can stretch the way that they stretch out is fucking unbelievable. I've always
Amen.
had a thing for goalies.
You know what? Earlier we were talking about how fucking stupid Sidney Crosby looks with that shitty ass mustache of his. You know
Yeah.
who has a great mustache?
No.
Charlie Lindgren. The
He does
Caps
actually have a
goalie.
great
Oh,
mustache.
His mustache is glorious.
Jake Middleton
Absolutely.
also has an amazing mustache, by
Yeah.
the way, on the Wild.
Yeah.
You know who
And he
always?
shaved it
You know who
for
had the
No Shave
best
November.
mustache of all time? George
Who?
Peros. My man had the best mustache of all time.
Yeah.
Peros?
George
Peros.
Peros.
P-A-R-O-S.
Oh my God, he really did.
His mustache
Yeah.
was fucking
He kind
fantastic.
of looks like
Fucking good.
Zuccarello a little bit.
He does a little
Mixed
bit.
with Middleton.
Loves it.
Yeah,
He
no.
is the love child of Zuccarello and Middleton. Tell me I am wrong.
Oh, I mean, he's older than them, but
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, look at these
Yeah,
pictures.
what happened? He
He's
got that Benjamin
100%
Button.
their love child.
That's so funny.
100%. Somebody get me in contact with the team because they're memes.
Marketing idea.
they're
Like,
both.
There you go.
fucking
Yeah.
the ideas going through my head right now.
I have your
are
next viral
incredible.
TikTok right
But
here.
do you know?
Fucking right?
Do you know who I think we can all agree had the best hair in NHL history? Yager.
Yeah.
Yager
That
did
fucking
have
mullet
great
was
hair,
iconic.
But so did Hendrik Lundqvist.
Well,
Lundqvist
Lundqvist is just
also-
gorgeous.
He's
just-
fucking
Fucking tell me
sexy.
I'm
Oh
wrong.
my God.
That man is still
You
good
can't.
looking.
That man
Chiseled.
is
He's
still hot as
still.
shit.
And
A
he gets
chiseled fucking work of art.
he gets
Oh, I
better
just
with
saw
age.
Zuccarello on the bench too. 100% the love child. He is Zuccarello with Middleton's mustache. He is their love child.
Dude,
Or maybe he is their father. I don't fucking know. Maybe he fathered both of them and didn't fucking know it.
Fathered
He
both
very
of them.
easily could have.
you know who else has really great hair? Axel Janssen Fjallby. I don't know if you've seen
He
him.
does.
don't.
But he has great.
He really
has
does have
like,
great hair.
Yeah. I was gonna attempt to spell his name because I can see it in my head, but I know that I don't spell it with my mouth.
Yeah, it's brutal. His name. You know who else does have good
Fjallby
hair?
is spelled like FJALLBY or something.
What
like that.
you
It's
didn't
fucking
see
crazy.
is D had a stroke while trying to for those that didn't for
I had
those
a
that aren't
soft
watching on
reset.
YouTube.
Oh, I got it.
I
Not
had a soft
anywhere.
reset
Close.
for sure.
Buffering. It's fine.
You know
Yeah.
who else has great
he
hair?
does have great hair.
Trevor
Yes.
Zegras.
Trevor
Has
Zegras
great
has
hair.
good hair too. I loved him walking in on Star Wars Day.
That kid's a legend.
I just
man.
recently saw
I
the
wish I was.
movie,
I
or
wish
the-
I was
the
that cool
video.
at fucking 20.
Right? He is an infant as well.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
Kulikowski's playing Goose.
Well,
Anyway,
we should have a whole episode about
About hair
We could.
about hair
we
and
easily could talk about
mustaches and
the best hair and mustaches
and who the best
beard
looking
Yeah.
player in the
game.
NHL is,
a
and
lot
why
of-
it's still somehow TJ Oshie.
Oh God,
Chicheosh.
God, he's so attractive.
Just he really
And he's
like
such a
he's
nice
almost
guy.
too fucking pretty for hockey.
And he's 35.
The only
he still
thing
looks like
that
he's
makes him-
16.
The only thing that like makes him not the perfect specimen is that his nose is very fucking broken.
Oh yeah,
His nose has been broken so many
it
times.
has. Yeah,
So it's like the
There's
one thing that
something
makes his
also
face
very
not
sexy about a
perfect.
guy with a broken nose.
Oh, absolutely. But it's the one thing saving him from being a literal fucking Adonis.
it's
You know what I
it's
mean?
it's
Yeah.
yeah. His nose is still kind of crooked.
Yeah,
he's
so,
never
like,
gotten it
if his
fixed, and I
nose
think
was
he
perfectly
will,
straight,
but when he's
I think
done-
it would be too much to handle.
Yeah,
It
no,
would
he
be
is.
over.
Yeah.
TJ Oshie is gorgeous. It's kind of
really
unfair.
is.
Yeah.
And he's
I mean,
like
'cause
super
let's,
fucking
like-
nice too.
I know.
So
Yeah.
that makes it doubly unfair.
Yeah, it's.
He's
I
just a
mean,
great dude.
there are always attractive guys, but hockey is not known for like attractive players, right? In general,
No, it's known
most
for the
of them
like
are missing teeth, and
the
that's
Chris
a big.
Prongers and the fucking
I
Andrew
mean, I
Coglianos
love-
that have the missing teeth.
I love Ovechkin, but that man is not attractive.
He is not.
His
he
wife
not,
is
He's not cute.
stunning.
His wife is hot.
Can you
Nastya?
blame her? She fucking. I'd marry Ovechkin too, given the
Well, I
opportunity.
mean, shit.
but-
Look at like Dion Phaneuf when he was married to
It's a great name.
what's her face?
Who is?
Why am I blanking on her name?
Oh.
I don't know, because you suck at life.
No, literally, we all know her. Fucking
Boo-hoo,
Lizzie McGuire.
the
What is her
poor.
name?
Hillary Duff.
Thank you, Hillary Duff. When he was fucking
wanted to say
Mike Fisher's
Haley.
married to
That's her
Carrie
sister.
Underwood. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Oh my god, some fan, so he was in the penalty box at some point, and I don't know how old this was, but some fan on a poster board right next to the penalty box had a picture with Carrie on it, like a huge cutout picture of her, and puts it up in the glass against the penalty box while he's in there, like, she's looking at what you did.
That's so great.
It's so
That's
funny.
so great.
I love that.
They
It might have been the green guy. You know the green
Oh,
guys
the green
that sit next
guys?
to the
Yeah.
penalty box? It might have been them or
Oh, in
someone
Vancouver,
similar.
the
Yeah.
Green Men. Yeah, those guys are crazy.
Yeah, the green men are fucking
They
hilarious.
Insane.
stand
by the
upside
way.
down, twerk on the glass.
Oh my god.
I think they
I
have
mean-
3 boys too. So
I think they do.
I think they
they
have 3 boys. Which Carrie.
But yeah, like
Sorry, they're already
I've
hockey
always
players.
loved Carrie Underwood, but she also like I liked her so much more when she married a hockey player.
And
Like,
she
like,
loves hockey. Like
she does. She loves
hockey.
like she goes crazy for hockey.
Yeah. Just a shout out to what I'm drinking. If you're watching it, you'll be able to see it. If not, I'm going to verbally tell you what it is. Yevgeny Kuznetsov of Washington Capitals fame recently worked with a brewing company called Juicy Brewing Co. to release the Koozie 777.
There you go.
So many sevens. He's a very superstitious dude, so like I guess sevens are a lucky number. So he just put a shit ton on it.
I mean, it seems to be working out for him
Extra
so
lucky.
far.
Very confusingly, he has
It's got
74 on the
74?
side.
Yeah.
It's not 74 ounces, y'all. And there's Russian
that his
writing
number
in the
or
middle.
anything?
No, that's John Carlson's number.
Yeah.
I don't know what it says because it's in fucking Russian. And I should have asked them when I went to like buy it, but I didn't see it
Can
until I
you
got
type
home.
it
I'm
into like a
"What?"
translator? Oh, you can't
It's
because
like
of the characters.
Cyrillic, yeah. So I can't. I have no idea what it says,
So
but something
anybody
about
that
74.
speaks or can read Russian,
Yeah, let a bitch
Uh,
know.
well,
but
even
it is
you
a
should take a picture of the can, so that
Yeah.
honestly, if anybody does read Russian, we can
I'm
post
sure.
it in our Discord.
yeah.
Because I sure
will.
shit don't read Russian.
I really want to know what it says,
But
but
I'm
it is
curious.
a hoppy Vienna
It's
lager.
probably some
It's so
superstitious.
good.
Yeah, you were
It's
telling
so
me about
delicious. Yeah, so like he didn't want to do an IPA, but he wanted to do something hoppy, and so he decided to do a Vienna lager. And
Vienna lagers are
interestingly,
pretty
I
hoppy, too.
did not love the first sip because it's very like hops forward. But then the more you
Yeah.
drink it, the more you taste the Vienna lager, and then I like
Yeah.
loved it because it's a complex flavor, and that I can get behind. So I actually
That's
really
awesome.
love this, and I hope it sticks around because
Well,
it is so
and-
good.
And another hockey player that I know that's doing some beer shit is I was listening to Spit and Chicklets earlier this week, and I didn't realize Biz has his own fucking brewing company.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
no
that's
shit.
cool.
And I think a lot
That's
of it's
crazy.
based out of Buffalo. So me working at a liquor store, I'm gonna see if I can get it in so I can try it.
Yeah, that would be
But
cool.
I was
dude.
like, I'm already
I'm
a
sure
Pink
you'd be
Whitney
able to.
fan, and if fucking Biz, if I can get Biz's stuff, man, I will 100% drink it.
I
Yeah,
had no idea
absolutely.
that Pink Whitney was made by hockey players.
It's
Until
new. It's a
yeah.
collaboration with New Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Biz and
and-
Ryan Whitney used to both after games, mostly Ryan Whitney, but after games they used to drink New Amsterdam and Pink Lemonade. And
Fucking
then New
amazing.
Amsterdam did a collab with them, Pink Whitney. That's why it's called Pink Whitney.
Became super
Which is
top
amazing.
popular.
Yeah.
And it's
No, it's
delicious.
so good.
It's
so
delicious.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, shout
Okay.
out to Kooz and the Koozie
yeah.
777.
Fuck yeah.
Check it out. See if I
mouthful
can
of
get it
sevens.
here. So to start off the show today, D, I'm gonna let you talk about this. I don't think I could
Yeah.
like win a fight against you to talk about this. Do you want to talk about what
no, you
Ovi's
couldn't.
been up to this week?
I mean, so we know that last show we literally got like a live reaction.
We're
Was that
so
last show or the
close.
show before?
Yeah, it was a
No,
show
no,
before.
no.
The show before.
it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Oh my God, I have no concept of time anymore. You know?
I know, it's tough.
Time isn't
So
real.
the show before, we saw Ovechkin hit
Time isn't
his
real.
800th goal, which obviously record-breaking. It was on a night where he got a hat trick, nonetheless, incredible. And then he didn't get other goals for a
like a
while
week.
until last week, and it was literally like the day after we filmed.
Yeah.
I think is what it must have been.
Oh, I think it was too. Because it and I
Yeah.
don't know.
It was on
I
the
hope,
23rd, so it was like
Howe's
3
boys
days
were
after.
still there. I know that they had been going to
They
all of the
weren't.
games.
No, they weren't there, unfortunately. I know. It was
That
a
was the
bummer.
worst part because they were at that game that we were, the
Yeah.
live reaction. They were there. They were ready for it. Oh,
I know.
that sucks, man.
So yeah, 3 days after we last recorded, this happened, and I honestly, we were all just so happy. Anyway, Ovechkin scored his 801st goal, at which point, his teammates that were on the ice all kind of lost it, and everyone took a moment because that was the tying goal. Was 801.
Yeah.
And who did he tie? If you want to
He
refresh
tied Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe,
Yeah.
for
for
second,
second
all-time.
most goals of all time.
All time.
So that was
Which
his
is
tying goal,
huge.
and everyone, very surprisingly, his whole team stayed on the bench because everyone knew that he was going to pass Howe that night. It was literally being talked about. Everyone in the
Everywhere.
locker room was like, "Tonight's the fucking night. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. We all just know it. We all just know it." And so, his team got really excited. They're jumping up and down with him on the ice. There's a little video moment. Everything's fine. The other team was super nice about the whole thing, because we were playing the Jets that night. Or no. Yeah, we were playing the Jets that night.
So you guys were playing the Jets.
Yeah. And so they were super great, graceful about it and everything. So then the game keeps going. We won that game 5-2 or something like that. It was a really nice win for us.
Yeah,
Let's be
it was.
honest.
It was.
So we have a minute and a half left. At 3 minutes, the Jets, for whatever fucking reason, because again, I guess they wanted to get the goal that night too, pulled their fucking goalie. They were behind 3 goals. It wasn't.
Yeah. And they still decided to pull
Well, I guess it
their
was
goalie.
2 at that point. Yeah, it was 4-2, and they pulled their goalie. And for a while, there's been discourse about whether or not Ovechkin should be making empty net goals, if that's the right way, quote unquote.
Whatever.
They don't ask how, they
whatever
ask
at
how
this
many.
point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
such a stupid conversation. But anyway, so that was all happening. He had a chance and he missed. I think he hit pipe. But if not, he missed
Oh,
it
that's
by
right. I
just a little
forgot
bit.
about that. I totally forgot he hit
And
the
so
pipe.
everyone in the stands is like, "Oh, fucking come on. No way." And this was again, there's still 3 minutes left in the game. And so then Ovi goes off the ice. There wasn't really a plan for him to come back. I'm going to be honest with you, because Peter Laviolette has had this conversation with Ovi, and Ovi's like, "Let me just come up in rotation when I come up in rotation. If
don't
we're not going to step out of the way to make me get these goals. It's either going to happen when it happens, or
'cause
it's
at
not
that
going to
point-
happen."
Yeah. At that point, it's you're pushing for it to you're almost
Right.
forcing it to happen versus
Exactly.
for it to be a legit record breaking. I
Right.
feel like it's better, especially for a guy like Ovi, who if he's
Right.
gonna do it, he wants to do it the right way and not be like. I
Well,
mean,
that's
it's
why it
great
was
to break
so
records
funny.
with people giving it to you.
Yeah.
But
Right. And
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what was
nice
so funny.
that he
So
said, "I don't want." Yeah, I,
I
need extra
I can
time
get
there.
it, but also it's the thing at the same time. You see this sort of thing all the time with people
Right.
coming up on
Oh, yeah.
500 career goals, 600 goals,
yeah.
what have you. It happens.
Right.
right.
And you again, it's that
Well,
old
that-
adage: they don't ask how, they ask how many.
How many?
Right.
And
Right.
even-
Also,
you see
No
it all
one's
the
going to
time.
think anything differently of Ovechkin because his one goal that passed Gordie Howe for second all time was an empty netter.
Right.
Well, so that's what's interesting about it, though. So again, he gets pulled off the ice. The fans are going nuts. They're just chanting "Ovi, Ovi, Ovi," over and over and over again. And so it was his turn next in rotation. They're still on a power play. There's about a minute left. Ovi gets out there. And he has honestly, it's kind of a breakaway moment where he's absolutely hitting net,
Which
right?
he does not like.
Which
It takes a little bit to get his engine going in a breakaway. Like he's a big.
He's not as
fucking
fast
dude.
as he used to be.
he's not as fast as he
Well,
used
but
to be.
he's a big dude too, so
Right.
it just gives him a minute, and
So,
he'll get a little hitch in his
but
giddy up.
he didn't want to take the shot. He passed it off to Yevgeny Kuznetsov.
Yeah.
He was like, he had the opening. He was like, it was going to go in. And he decided to pass it instead. And Uwe goes, the fuck? I don't want this. And passes and tries to pass it right back, which it kind of like awkwardly misses Ovechkin. He is able to get it under control. He's spinning around. He does a no-look shot from the fucking boards. And it goes in.
Unbelievable.
And that is the empty net goal that that passes Gordie Howe and firmly plants him in second place.
Yeah.
Again, it was a goal that he wasn't even trying to take.
Yeah.
It was a goal that him and his coach talked about as being like, if it happens, it happens. We're not going to put you in specifically to get you an ENG.
Right.
It was a goal that he even tried to give to his best bud over there.
Yeah.
To give to Kuzi, and Kuzi was like,
"Because
you're insane if you think I'm taking this."
Yeah,
Backy's not there to pass the puck to him.
Like, yeah. Right.
So I will say this right now: if Backy isn't the one that passes to him for Ovi to hit 819, I will fucking riot, because Ovi is number 8 and Backy is number 19, and so everybody in the world
has to happen.
wants those two. 819 has to be with Backy's help. There's no
because
fucking
at some point he'll hit that number.
Oh, yeah.
He may hit it this season. He's only 17 away, and we still got 40 fucking games.
Yeah, he's
you
got
know what I mean?
19 goals.
I highly.
I'm sorry, 22 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I highly anticipate that that's going to happen.
Yeah. So anyway, so that he tied him. It was an incredible night. He also got himself closer to some other milestones. So just to put some facts and figures out there, with his 801st goal, with Ovi's 801st goal, in his 1,000, wow.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say he's played more than 100 games.
1,310 career game. He tied Ovi with playing 457 fewer games. So it took Howe 1,767 games to hit that number. It took Ovi almost like 460 less.
So
like,
I watched
insane.
I watched a video. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or if it was on YouTube, but it literally had a breakdown of Gretzky, Ovechkin, and Gordie Howe on their levels of goal scoring.
Right.
The only one that didn't stay constant and going up was Gordie. Gordie went through 5 or 6 seasons where he didn't score a goal.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was, you got to think of, he retired a couple
well.
times.
Right.
You know, so
Gretzky had a couple of years, especially there towards the end, where he only scored like 20 goals.
Yeah, it kind of fell off, but like
60,
it was for the most part, it was a very steady climb, and I think that status, I mean, it's still impressive, you know, to do it in 400 something less games than Gordie Howe, but Gordie Howe also retired a couple times. Right. He also went through some, I think, four or 5 seasons where he didn't even score a goal. And I mean, the guy played until he was in his 50s.
I mean,
but
it's still an incredible feat.
Yeah.
And additionally, that night, this was also his first ever career goal against David Riddick, which makes him the 166th different goaltender Ovi has scored on. The only people higher than him are Jaromir Jagr with 178 and Patrick Marleau with 177.
Well, yeah,
so that's yet another record that Ovi will break in his lifetime. More than likely. More than likely, Ovi will break that.
So,
which is insane.
It's
insane.
funny. It's funny to think about. We're having a conversation about a guy who's done something that literally only 2 other players in the history of the NHL have done. Like, to think about that.
Yeah.
That's so mind blowing.
And it's so exciting to be able to see that, like, in our lifetime. You know, I mean,
and not only that, they're 2 players that are regarded as the greatest to ever do it.
Right. Yeah, we have Mr. Hockey and the great
Gordie Howe and Wayne Gretzky are names people know.
And I mean, let's talk about some of the other goals the other records that Ovi now holds. He has 292 power play goals, which makes him first of all time in the NHL.
Fucking great.
5 shorthanded goals, which there is no ranking for that, so I don't know where he stacks up. He is 4th overall in even strength goals. Again, this is in the history with 505. How is that 566? So again, that's yet another record that Ovi could potentially break in the 4.5 years he has left on his contract.
Right.
He has 163 multi-goal games, placing him at 2nd.
Which is crazy. Who has more?
Which is crazy.
Gretzky?
I think so.
Yeah. It's either Gretzky or Lemieux, because they both had insane amounts of multi-goal games.
Right.
Right.
He's 6th for 20-goal seasons with 18, which you should note he's only 6th because he hasn't played long enough. How is 1st? Because he played for so fucking long.
He played for 4 decades.
He has 22 20-goal seasons.
Yeah, which is crazy.
He is 2nd for 30-goal seasons with 16 seasons where he has scored at least 30. With 40-goal seasons, he is tied for 1st with 12 40-goal seasons.
With Gretzky?
He is also tied for 1st with 50-goal seasons at 9 50-goal seasons.
Crazy. And both of those are tied with Gretzky, right?
Insane. I think so. Yeah.
I was going to say, dude,
Yeah.
Gretz has 60 different records. So I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean
if Ovechkin
between Gretzky and Howe, like
Gretzky,
not
Howe,
to
Lemieux,
discount
like those
anybody
guys,
else out there, but
right,
they were the class of their.
Let's just say it's not shocking that when they're one of the record holders. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this is another time that I think I do want to bring this up because obviously the comparison is always going to happen the rest of their careers, but the comparison has always happened between Crosby and Ovechkin, and they are both the same level of talent. It's just one's a shoot first and one's a pass first kind of player. Crosby scored over 500 career goals, which is also impressive in his own right. Not a ton of people have done that,
right?
But Ovechkin is
though that is a little bit of an unfair comparison.
And they're very different players.
A little bit.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish my thought. The reason I think that's a little bit unfair is kind of twofold. As I just exemplified, he did pass it to Kuzi, and Kuzi said no fucking shot, and passed it back. Right. Secondly, Crosby has had a team that has better finish. One of the reasons why Crosby has more cups is because he's been on a stronger team overall.
That's fair.
And so because of that, when Crosby passes it to someone, they're finish.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets credited. We're not talking about the number of times Ovechkin has passed and the other dude just can't put it in the fucking net. Right. And so that's why I think it is a little bit of an unfair comparison, because when you talk about assists, it's incredible no matter what. Yeah. It is an incredible thing to do. But it's really hard because you then can't compare it to the people who are trying to get the assist, but it just doesn't fucking happen.
I'm sorry.
That's my only caveat to that.
Danger,
Crosby's the better
thought. I was going to say, before I finish my thought, you go ahead.
And I just think, especially when they started, because they did start, I mean, they're both like my age, right? So they started around the same time.
Yeah, one started a year later, I think.
Right. But they both got a lot of the attention, I think, well, just like when they came up, right? Like so much heat was on both of them for very different reasons. And I think, especially back at the beginning, Crosby was more of the passer player, at least, alluding to Chris's analogy, because he's not as big as Ovi. Ovi is a fucking brick wall when you go toe to toe with him. So there's not a lot for Ovi to be like, well, I'm going to pass it up there. No, I'm going to fucking run through you and your mom and all of your family to get this in the goal.
Your mom.
Right. I mean, it's definitely true, though. Ovi has taken riskier shots.
Right.
Because of his...
Especially if he does get on a breakaway. I was kind of teasing a little bit before because it takes a minute to get his motor running. But once he's up and moving like full speed, like, I'm sorry,
he's a fucking Mack truck coming.
Full
speed. And because you don't know if he's going to murder you with the body or if he's going to score on you. I will say the only thing, and like with those two...
It's a Braun Strowman right?
Yeah.
For anybody that watches.
The thing is they're obviously going to be compared their whole career, and Dee, you made a very good point. I think the only thing that matters is that when their careers are said and done, the only thing I hope is they're both inducted in the Hall of Fame together.
They probably will be.
Because
the only thing that will be stopping that is if they retire.
If they retire separately.
Yeah.
Because the fiercest of rivals on the ice, what if now we've seen are
Well,
actually the best of friends
right.
off the ice.
Yeah, which I think is incredible. I think for
It's so funny.
years
It's
the
so
media has
funny to
pitted them
me.
against each other, but
It's
they have each
so
other's
funny.
phone numbers and text each other and have
All the
like
time.
Ovechkin
jokes,
invited
you know what I
Crosby
mean?
to his wedding. Like,
Yeah.
like they're good friends.
And I
Exactly.
love that shit in hockey too. I love when
Yeah.
I mean any athlete, like there's nothing better than seeing a game on the field or on the ice, whatever, where these people like are meant to hate each other, but when you
Right.
like when it's not game like actual game time, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yo, bro, like I'm gonna knock your head, your teeth out your face, whatever they
Right.
say. They fucking just give each other shit. Then they want to kill each other for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then they're best of friends again. Like
the perfect
well,
analogy
so
for
much
that
fun to me.
would be like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. You know,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
they hated each other, especially when they played. But now that they don't play, like they're
Well,
really
even,
close
like,
friends.
That whole crew back then, Charles Barkley, like
Oh yeah, all of them.
Jordan, Shaq, all of those guys.
Well, Ovi
Magic Johnson,
actually-
like, but
Yeah,
go
I was
back to
gonna
hockey.
Ovi did actually talk about that in one of his post-game interviews because at the end of the game, well, first of all, I should say after he scored 802 to pass Howe, his entire bench was on the fucking ice, like, dogpiling him, which was incredible. And the Jets were so patient with it. They didn't get annoyed. The coach wasn't getting pissy because they understand that this is like, it's a once in a lifetime moment. You know what I mean?
Once in a lifetime.
And then at the end of the game, the Jets all lined up to shake Ovi's hand at the end of the match.
That's
Which
awesome.
I was just
Because
gonna say
they
that,
were
too, 'cause-
in, and so at the end of the match, he was asked about it, and he's like, "It's one of those things when you're on the ice. Yeah, you hate each other, you chirp each other, whatever. But at the end of the day, we all have a tremendous amount of respect for each other, and so that's what this game is about the respect. And so I'm grateful to them for doing that, for that. But this is just what hockey is, basically. And so I was like,
Right.
yeah, that's
Well,
beautiful.
And we've talked about that before too, where at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are hockey fans. They
Yeah.
love
Oh, yeah.
the sport. They
Right.
don't want to see people get seriously injured.
no.
They want to see people succeed and break records. And just that great sportsmanship and acknowledgement of, like, I mean, there are hockey players right now in the NHL where if you ask them, I mean, it's like, okay, so the closest thing,
Yeah.
and again, I bring it back to my team all the time. Fucking deal with it. But because it's the closest thing that I can talk about, because I know more about them than anybody else. That's why I do it. But
Right.
fucking deal with it. But
Fucking
so like
deal
when
with it.
Fleury came and with Gustafson this year, and somebody asked Gus, "Are you upset that you're like the second line, backup goalie?" And he's like, "No." It's like, I'm backup goalie to Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
Like, I am soaking up every day. And Fleury has said this too. Every day he comes in with at least one new question to ask Fleury. He's soaking up as much knowledge and just that, like, been
Yeah.
around the game a while as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that that's what some of these guys are with
Oh, yeah.
Ovi and even like Zegras. Zegras is young still, but Zegras
You
has
know
a
he's
different
he's going to
understanding
players
of the game.
like Adam Henrique and Cam
Right,
Fowler
yeah.
and Kevin Shattenkirk and
Right.
like you said, at the end of the day, these guys are a part of a
hockey fans.
thing
Mm-hmm.
that in the history of the existence, not really a lot of people can say that they've
Well,
done is
no.
play
Yeah.
professional hockey. They're a part of a fraternity that's
And
so
to be on
know.
that level, period.
Yeah.
But then to be able to be, I shared the ice with fucking Ovechkin.
yeah,
Like,
to be like I played
how
against Alex
fucking
Ovechkin.
cool is that?
Or
The
even, like,
year
any
he
of the
beat
Hall of
Gordie
Famers.
Howe. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be in the Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
there's no
You know what I mean?
question.
So
There's no
for any of
question.
his teammates, it's like, that's incredible. I got to play with
Right.
a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
doubt in
which
their
is
mind
huge.
that he is up there. Same with, I'm sure people are going to kind of think that way potentially about like Zegras. I think he has the
Yeah.
potential, barring any injury that,
The kid is a
Oh,
oh
bright
yeah,
his
he'll
future
future.
definitely
career.
be. I mean,
like Kirill
after-
Kaprizov might be up there as well.
Oh,
Like there's so many
I'd be
people.
surprised if
and it's
Kirill
so incredible.
doesn't end up in the Hall of Fame later on. But
you-
even
He's still so young.
Ashton
Yeah.
Matthews, like
Austin
Connor
Austin
McDavid.
Matthews
I mean,
and
all
Connor
of these
McDavid.
guys are going
Kachuk's,
to end up in the
yeah.
Hall of Fame. Yeah,
You know
all
what?
going to end up in there at some point.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what list Alex Ovechkin's also
Probably
a
not
part
Freddie,
of?
though.
What?
For the second week in a row. He's a part of the
Oh, yeah.
NHL.com 3 stars,
3
of, the
stars
week.
of the week.
He
Which
is.
is awesome.
He very
And,
much
and
so
he
is.
damn well should
I-
be.
Oh,
He
yeah.
should kind of almost be a star of the week, dare I say. every week till the end of the season.
Oh, I
Can
mean,
I
he's
share
got
a
to keep the
controversial opinion
performance
that's
up.
going to get me shot by my own fan base?
Uh-oh. You
I don't think
it
he should be
him
first star. I think he should be up there. I don't think he should be first star.
Who would you
As
rather have as first star
incredible
out
as
of the
it
three?
is,
I can agree with you because
I just have a hard time with people getting like. I mean, again, he also put up a shit ton of points. Like
Yeah.
not a shit ton. He put up 6 points over 3 games. That's also super impressive.
Right.
I just have a really hard time with people getting like the star of the week just because they broke a record. Like,
That's
yeah,
fair.
that's cool. And there should be some
Yeah.
kind of honor in some way. That to me is like a second or third star.
yeah.
I think I'd like to see more in order to get that first. And even when we
think-
talk about
Yeah.
like what the second week star of the week, Alexander Georgiev, he stopped 82 of 85 shots. To me,
Which is fucking
that's
crazy.
fucking insane. That's a 3-0 record for the week. He didn't lose
Yeah.
a single game, and
Yeah.
he was saving shit left, right, and center.
Alexander
And that to me
Georgiev
is
has a point
more
had a,
impressive.
in for 3 games that this week he played as a .94 goals against average,
Yeah.
.965 save percentage, and a shutout. But
Fucking-
not only
fucking
that,
crazy.
your third star of the week, Elias Pettersson, had 7 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
And again, to me, that is just a
I
little
think
bit more special.
If I'm gonna be real,
But I
I think
think-
Elias Pettersson should have been first star. Like
Yeah.
Ovi should have
I
been on
think
this
the
list.
thing is that they know that the NHL in general, not just Caps fans, but also other sports, other fandoms that just like Ovi, because there are millions of those.
Yeah.
They would have read the riot act if Ovi
Yeah.
wasn't made first star. And so
Yeah.
because of fear of backlash, they just made him first star.
Yeah.
I just
fair.
honestly, I think he should be on the list. I don't think he should be first. I think maybe Pettersson should be first, but honestly, I think the goalie feat is a little bit more impressive.
Yeah.
The only-
Just because it's fucking hard to be a goalie. Yo.
I mean,
It is. It is.
and
Here's my question with the goalie, and not that it changes my opinion on him whatsoever. Was he with Colorado last year?
no, so
Okay.
Georgiev signed with them in the off season. He was with
Okay,
the
that's what I
Rangers
thought.
last year. Yeah.
Okay.
He split with Shesterkin last year.
Yeah.
But again, like they had to do something, obviously,
Yeah.
because
They
they
traded
lost
away
Darcy
Kemper to
Kemper in
me.
the off season. So
Oh,
you
that's
have to go
right.
get
I forgot they had
someone.
Kemper.
And
Okay.
who just got a
obviously,
shutout tonight, so shout out
Yeah.
to Dars.
Oh God, Kemper's amazing.
Kemper's
Wow.
great.
We've had far too many great goalies come through Minnesota and leave us. Not that I'm unhappy with our goalies right now.
Right, but
So
But and talking like sportsmanship, because it was fucking adorable and goalies. It was Talbot and Fleury were like stretching right next to each other the last time we played them, and they're like chit chatting as they're stretching. So like everybody thinks that Fleury and Talbot have beef from last season. It's not true.
yeah.
Talbot obviously was. I mean, he was upset. He was our goalie all year last year, and then they brought Fleury in because of the playoffs. But I think he understood it, you know. But yeah, I just thought that was a really cute picture because they like. I mean, we were talking about that with Ovi and Crosby. You know, I mean, you set these beef. The fans love to set beef up between
Right.
players.
oh yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
So to list off your official 3 stars of the week, third star was Vancouver Canucks player Elias Pettersson. Second star was Colorado Avalanche goalie Alexander Georgiev, and your first star of the week was Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. Again, I think we can debate on where these guys should all be listed, but that is,
Right.
I think, the right move.
Yeah,
Dude,
I think
shout
that
out
they
to
all deserve
Pettersson,
it.
I mean, I'm
man.
happy with it.
That
But,
kid
like-
has talent, and he showed he's got
I
talent.
get what you're saying though about Ovi, and
Yeah.
being a Caps fan, saying that I think says something too, in just the fact that like yeah, we love him, it's great, but 2 weeks in a row because he was number 1 last week too, right?
He was.
Yeah.
Because last
So-
week he hit 800.
Had-
which
And
is
I
also
yeah,
think
another
anytime.
we had the same conversation last week about Tage Thompson.
Yeah, and-
Right.
And you
Which,
didn't
again,
feel
my
that he
views
should
are
have been
consistent.
second.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't.
Well, because he had been there, that was his second week too,
Right.
right?
Yep.
I think he
Yeah,
should have
I
been on the list regardless. Like he had a
Right.
monstrous 2 weeks. But yeah, I think
love
it's
the
just one of
hockey lad.
those shout out to those guys, and the way they've
Yeah,
been playing.
absolutely.
Do you guys want to hear some spicy rumors?
I would
love
love a spicy
rumors.
rumor.
I've been hearing from multiple sources that Arizona Coyotes have put a halt to trade talks on defenseman Jakob Chychrun until after the All-Star break.
Which he's not too happy about. I can only
from what I've gathered,
imagine.
But again, he's still dealing with injury. I believe he should be back.
I think that's a big reason for it because he just had wrist surgery,
and
so he's not even back on the ice yet.
He is back on the ice. He's been playing because I have him on my fantasy team.
I don't think
so he did play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have him on my fantasy team. He's been back, but I think a lot of it has to do with the timing of the year.
Yeah,
and I mean
That's
the
right.
Coyotes, I'm sure, don't want to lose Chychrun.
I mean, he's the only good player on their team they have left that hasn't fucking bounced.
Yeah. So
but
again,
I mean,
can only
early in the
imagine
season,
they don't want to lose
honestly,
him.
Arizona was wanting to trade him because, according to them, Chychrun was not integral to their rebuild.
And he's got 2
which I think is
assists right now.
foolish,
It's time of recording. They're in second intermission with Colorado. He's got 2 assists.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do agree.
But, yeah, it's definitely one of them things.
And because I'm the curious type, I went ahead to take a look at his contract that he signed. Most recently, he signed in 2019. He signed a 6-year, $27.6 million contract with the Arizona Coyotes. He is now in his 4th year of said contract. I had toyed with the
weird though.
Yeah, well, I had toyed with the idea of all right, look, maybe he plays out the rest of his deal there, whatever. He's still got 2 years left. Like he won't be a UFA until 25-26 season. So my question is, how much longer do you guys see him playing out a contract with Arizona? And keep in mind, he's only 24.
Honestly, I think they're going to trade him this season. I think
he's definitely gone this season.
Yeah.
I think eventually they're going to decide that they're sick of the.
Well, because he doesn't want to be there.
No, he doesn't. And no team wants somebody that doesn't want to be there. I mean, let's be honest about that.
My thing is, who wants to fucking play at Mullet Arena?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, none of their team wants to fucking be there.
Here's a better question, I guess. Once Chychrun is gone, how long does Clayton Keller stay? Like, how long do the pieces start? Like, how long after Chychrun goes do the pieces start slowly falling away?
Which is why I was so intrigued by the fact that Arizona has, I mean, they've not come out and said it, but through reports, there's been talk that they don't feel that Chychrun is integral to their rebuild, which is why they don't mind trading him.
Which is crazy.
To me,
he's
is
one of the best defensemen in the NHL.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you want to build a team around like the young talent, how much longer like a Barrett Hayton and like those guys? How much longer do they want to stay? You know, if your players are leaving,
they're wanting to trade him out, though. I mean, the only thing I could think of that would make sense is that they want more offensive power and not defensive power. And realistically, Chychrun is the only thing that's marketable on the table to draw in the
It's him and Keller right now. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that they could get more by trading away Chychrun and getting a couple of first-round picks, or even like a 4th-round pick would be great for them overall.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's where they're seeing their buying power, is that if they trade him away, they might be able to get a better slot so they can pick a better up-and-comer that, in their minds will do better for them in the long run.
Oh, for sure.
Do I agree with it? No. But I think that's where their head is at.
The problem is with Arizona, there's a lot more going on than just Chychrun.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of other issues. That team, and like they're doing actually better this season than I think anyone expected them to. But like it's the same reason that Taylor Hall was there and fucking bounced, and there was Phil Kessel bounced. It was like things don't look great over there, and that team hasn't. I believe they have an internal issue that they need to really sort out, and they need owners that care.
They have more than one.
You know,
Yeah.
they're playing in an 8,000 seat college arena. Like, you need owners that give a shit. And I don't know if,
Yep.
and we've talked about relocation as possibility. I don't think that they need to be glued to the state of Arizona. I don't think the state gives a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that the state gives a shit or honestly, I think it's more of a marketing problem. I think Arizona could give a shit for one. Who doesn't want in that hot ass heat to go into a cold arena? Like that must be refreshing.
Well, and we've
for
seen
everybody.
it work
Yeah.
in fucking Vegas, like in a
That's what I'm
desert.
saying. Like,
and then Southern
but look at
California.
how differently the Coyotes and Vegas were marketed, though.
Oh yeah.
And I think we underestimate the power of marketing in this sport.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it is tremendous, and Vegas did it properly. But again, Vegas sold it as an entertainment option. You know what I mean? Because they're the
Knights
entertainment
fans
capital.
are fucking rabid. Like
my
they are
God, yeah.
diehard. They love their team.
Oh my god, they
are.
fucking love their
I
team.
know multiple Golden Knights
Right.
fans personally, and they fucking love their team.
Yeah.
Like that
Well,
city
and
is
same with
nuts for
Seattle
Vegas.
fans, though, too. Like,
Yeah.
Seattle has such a strong fan
yeah.
base. But you wouldn't think necessarily that Seattle is a hotbed for hockey. Like,
No.
that's
Right.
not, those aren't congruent because of what people think of. Like, Seattle's very much like a hippie, Starbucksy sort of a
Right.
place, right?
But the one
But what they
thing
did
that
was
the
they
Pacific,
marketed it so
Yeah.
fucking well.
Well, and the
when
Pacific
the Coyotes
Northwest
came out, they
needed
did
hockey.
not market themselves.
100%,
Right.
the Pacific Northwest just needed hockey, and I
Yes.
think
Right.
that once they got the opportunity, they were going to show this is why we
Right.
needed a team for so long. And now that they have, dude, I don't think the Kraken have had under 80% ticket sales since they started. At least
No.
at
Which, I
home.
mean, isn't long. They've only been around for what, 2
No,
seasons?
but
Still, it's impressive.
That's a good stat
Yeah.
to have. Like, I think their ticket
is.
sales have been 80% and above their first 2
Absolutely.
seasons. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So I don't think Arizona is going to lose a hockey team. I think they're going to rebrand a hockey team.
they're
I
going
don't
to
know
have
if they're
to
going
do
to stay the
something.
Coyotes. I don't think that there's enough pull with the Coyote name. First of all, like I don't think, from everything I've heard, it doesn't have the. Again, think about C. Bowie. He has an intricate backstory. Think about fucking Gritty
Yeah.
again.
Gritty.
Right.
Your mascot draws
Yeah,
people in.
they-
As silly as it is
Yeah.
a selling point for fans. Their
Yeah.
colors aren't anything exciting. They're not anything people are like, oh, I want to wear that.
Well, I think what the smart thing that they did
It's
was going back to
multifaceted.
the Kachina jerseys, and the logo when they first started. Like, people liked
Yeah.
that look. I love the look. The jersey's great. The logo's great. It brings me back to a kid watching the Coyotes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't
well,
think
and-
changing it. I think the main thing is
They got to rebrand it, though.
you gotta, and you have
Yeah.
to start winning. They're
Yeah,
11,
you have to
16,
put
and
product out on the
5.
ice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the
But I
product
mean,
has
think
to be
about
good.
the rabid fan base that is the entire Flyers franchise. Are they any good? Not usually.
Not this year, but they have history is the thing. The
Yeah,
Broad
but
Street
again-
Bullies, Eric Lindros, like they have history there, you know.
They do,
Right.
but again,
The
what
team's
draws
also been
them
around
in
for like 50 years.
is the cult of community, is what
Yeah.
I'll call it. The
Right.
cult of community of the Flyers.
Flyers
You
fans are
have
fucking
Gritty,
loyal.
who brings people in. You have like all the weird quirks and traditions that Philly has.
Well,
Things like
yeah.
that bring a fan base
Right.
together. I don't know that
absolutely.
Arizona
but
has much.
I will
in
argue with the Gritty thing that's only recent because
I don't
But it
think so.
revitalized
never,
their-
but they've never had a mascot, and they've
no, but see,
always
that's
been.
the thing is that it
you know,
revitalized their fan base.
Yeah,
because
and
now
it's brought in
Yeah.
people
newer
who did not
fans.
give a shit
Give a
because it's
shit.
funny to like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something funny. Yeah,
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. That's what Arizona needs. I'm not necessarily saying that they need to bring change their name to the Arizona B-52s. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm saying they need to rebrand their community.
The only way
they
that they
need
could
to
change
find
their name
their
to the
Cebu.
B-52s is if that they skate out to Love Shack. That's
well,
it.
It was
they
the
would
first
have
thing that came
right?
to mind. All I'm saying is that they need to.
B-52s.
I love
listen,
it. I'm here for it.
All
But
I'm
yeah,
saying
I
is
think-
that they need to rebrand their community in order to build a community.
Right.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is to start with either getting a new mascot or changing up your logo, going back to the good logo. Chris, I agree. I think that was a good idea. And I do think that it brought more people in, or at least people were like, oh, thank God, at least I don't have to wear shitty fucking uniforms again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that does revitalize the fan base. And that's what they need. I think
Yeah.
they can absolutely make it as a team in the NHL. I just think that they don't have the support. And
Which
so
is
they're
fair.
not going to get their support if management doesn't do something that affects the community.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think anybody has given a shit about Arizona. No offense.
No.
Since Gretzky
I
left.
won't. It's
Oh
been a
yeah, as
minute.
their coach.
That
yeah.
was their big
Well,
push.
they were
It was
good.
Gretzky's team.
They were good.
And well, it helped that they were good, but people wanted to see if Gretzky could coach. Could he,
Right, he was the great one on the ice, but is he the great one
but
behind
can
the bench?
he replicate that with the younger generation?
Yeah.
And it worked for a while, and then he left, and nobody gave a fuck about the team anymore. And I think that.
And honestly, that is another great way, though, to again revitalize that community. I think about I know this isn't the same thing, but the Miami Dolphins in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're a team that's not very good, but the fan loves the fucking team because their coach in interviews says the craziest fucking shit.
They're good this year.
Doesn't answer a
but,
question.
That's awesome.
I made fun of the Miami Dolphins for so long.
Yeah.
But now I kind of get it because they have a coach who brings personality to the team, and that's what people want.
Yeah.
And again, all of our favorite teams, right? I'm not a Penguins fan, as we are all aware.
Fuck the Penguins.
But they
just
have
love-
built a community.
Oh, Penguins
And
fans.
that's due
Yeah.
My
to
79-year-old
personality
grandmother
as
now
well.
says "fuck the Penguins" every
Well,
time she mentions the Penguins. So,
but to your
fucking-
point,
my favorite.
Pittsburgh sports fans in general, even the Pirates, they love their fucking teams.
They do.
That
Yeah.
city loves their sports teams.
Yeah.
A little too much sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Quit burning down your own fucking
The
city.
the
Dumb.
Steelers win.
Yeah,
No, that's
don't do
that's
that.
Philly.
Don't do stupid.
They both do it, though.
Philly-
All of
Philly
have
just
the-
looks for
Pennsylvania.
an
Have
It's
so
is it
fucking
just a weird Pennsylvania thing?
It's just a weird Pennsylvania
The
thing.
fucking Pennsylvania man, the fucking Yinzers, man. They the
Yeah.
Steelers won one game. The Steelers are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Calm down. No, they're not.
Shout out urinating tree. I see you on YouTube. You fucking crazy ass Yinzer. But no, I think a lot of it has to do with the team's recent lack of success, and
Yeah.
it is
Right.
what it is. And I know this has totally changed from us talking about Chychrun rumors to the Coyotes, but again, the Coyotes are
Hey,
winning
but-
right now against the defending Stanley Cup champions.
They've had
there's
some weird
Are you
talent
wins.
fucking
there.
kidding? I
They
mean,
beat
we.
the shit out of our team, too.
There's
Well, they-
talent.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. I don't remember if I realized this on air or if it was just in a conversation with my grandma, but I realized the Wild were the only team out of the three of us to beat Arizona this season. So
I
far.
don't even think we've played Arizona yet this season.
You did. I
Did-
remember you did.
did we
'Cause
play
you got your asses handed to you.
No,
but it was
everyone's-
real. It might have been preseason.
Everyone's kicked our ass, so they all kind of blend
yeah.
together.
Not
But-
that shocking.
Right? But no, it was just super funny. And we all know, I'm like, we're going to fucking lose to Kai. I think I even said that in the Discord. I was like, we're going to fucking lose right now to Arizona. And I think both of you were
Yeah.
like, well, we just fucking. Because I think the Wild and the Caps played Arizona in the same week or something.
I
if
think
remember,
so.
right?
Yeah. It was a couple days
And it was
apart,
just
I think.
what Twilight Zone am I
Right.
fucking living in?
For real.
That but great, good for them. They need to be able
Yeah.
to put that product out on the
Yeah.
ice. But
Yeah.
can we blame Chychrun for wanting to leave? I don't
No.
think so. I mean, they're playing in a fucking college arena
Right.
with a ton of student seats that got given for free, basically, and they still can't fill the arena.
But nobody goes to games. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, nobody goes to games, and the shit every arena has those little giveaways. You come to
Right.
the game, you get a free hat, you get a pennant, you
Yeah.
get whatever.
Yeah.
They're free giveaways. One of them was a free mullet hairband, so one a sweatband that goes around your
The
head.
Vikings
But it looked
did that
so
too.
shitty
Yeah.
that people
the
are like,
Vikings
that's
one
not
at least was nice.
enticing.
yeah, but
you know
the
what I mean?
Vikings are good. Danger.
The Vikings are good.
Oh yeah, well,
that's the
if it
thing.
was to celebrate Jared Allen, who is
Yeah.
one of the most
Yeah,
recognizable.
I don't
mullets
mind
in
the
Minnesota.
idea. I mind the execution, which is another
Right.
reason why
Yeah, it
their
was
fan
a
base
cheap product.
isn't as thrilled, because that's
Right.
another part that they're missing. They're missing the execution.
Right.
You know what I
Our,
mean?
our only games, our first game against Arizona is on July 24th. Or January
Have
24th.
either of you
We have not
seen
played.
any social
You
media
haven't played them at all?
marketing? for the Coyotes?
No.
Like I see
No.
marketing all the time for fucking so many teams.
Yeah.
For the
No.
Wild, for the Knights.
Wild
I
are
see
great
nothing
about
for Coyote.
The fucking
And I think
Wild,
that's
the
another
Knights,
missed opportunity as well.
Yeah.
the Blues and the Devils
Jose
probably have the
has
most savage
consistent
fucking
marketing,
Twitter
or at
accounts.
least they used to. But Seattle, their marketing has been out of this world
Oh, yeah.
stellar.
I
The
follow
Wild,
them on
again,
Twitter, and
I
they're
know
insane.
I'm biased, but our marketing fucking
Has been great.
Y'all
Yeah.
do a great
It's-
job.
Anaheim's
The
been doing a
Not
good
Weird
job, too.
Wild
Weird-
commercials
yeah.
are awesome. Like, you bring the fan base into the team so well
And
here
again,
in Minnesota.
that's my point about how they need to rebrand their community
Yeah.
because I don't see it. I don't see
Yeah,
an
the
avid
fans aren't
marketing
interested.
fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the fans
honestly,
just aren't
that's
interested.
what draws people in.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Is
agree.
that and so that's what needs to change. When I say they need to rebrand, they need to rebrand like their strategy, maybe a little retooling of the logo. I think, like you said, Chris, they did recently go back to
I think the
their
logo that they
starter
have is
logo.
perfect because everyone, whether you
Yeah.
enjoy looking at it or you think it's a children's like drawing, you
Right.
know the logo.
It's
Everyone
yeah,
knows
it's
that logo.
identifiable.
That's fair.
But again, that was
Uh,
like a
that's
recent
a
change.
fair
Like that was just this year, right?
This year.
Yeah, that they went
Last year they loosely went to it, but this year was officially everything is old.
Yeah,
Well,
so I was
and
still
it's-
thinking of
it's
last year's logo.
A
when I was
very
seeing that one.
like reminiscent of like a Native American.
Well, it
art
has
piece.
it has native
Yeah,
ties to the
it's
area,
which I get
you know.
it.
It's very
I
90s too.
right, and
Yeah.
I
Which I
totally
love.
understand like the
all
pulling in
for
the
it.
native. Yeah, especially for the reverse retro this year. Like it has a very 90s vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which I want to. I mean, wasn't it the 90s when the Coyotes were formed?
Yeah, it was when they relocated from
Uh,
Winnipeg. I would say
Yeah.
93, 92, 93, somewhere around there.
Something like that.
can't
I
remember
want to
off the
say
top
it
of
was
my head.
shortly after the North Stars left.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, 96.
96,
So
yeah.
it was a couple years after the North Stars left.
Speaking of retro things, though, the Winter Classic always has the retro
Yes.
jerseys.
Oh my
Not the
God.
reverse retro, which are obviously super
But they have
popular,
their
but like
yeah.
vintage retro, like legit the old jerseys.
Can we
right?
talk about how the fucking Penguins are a disappointment to the NHL with their Winter Classic jerseys? They're disgusting. I think they look like 1930s Pittsburgh Pirates hats, but yeah, the Penguins, man, sort
Oh
your
yeah,
shit.
I remember.
Yeah,
They're
it's
so
a vintage
gross.
white uniform with black stripes and a gold P logo taken from the 1925 Pittsburgh Pirates uniforms, which
Yeah.
again, fucking
Right.
lame, dude.
It's fine. Use
Boston
the fucking
Bruins.
blue they used
Yeah.
before.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the Bruins, theirs is going to be black uniform with gold stripes and a vintage white text. Boston and the arched word mark, inspired by the original Spoked B logo worn in 1949,
Yeah.
and the original bear head logo from 90
Yeah.
or 77 to
I do like the
95 was
bear
added
head.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
at
like
least
the
that's
bear
like a little something something. In
Right.
case anyone's curious, I will for sure be rooting for the Bruins.
I'm not
I think
allowed to root for the Bruins. Just on
Oh.
principle.
Heck off.
That's fine.
I'm also going to
I don't know.
be cheering for the Bruins. I think.
I'm in New England and I can't stand Boston teams, so I'm not gonna cheer for the Boston team. I'm obviously gonna cheer for the Penguins, who my dad is a fan of.
The Penguins.
But I
fuck the
want to throw out some records here.
Okay.
In the 5 outdoor games that the Penguins have played, the Penguins are 2-2-1. They've got 11 goals for, 15 goals against. They are at what you would call like roughly 500. The
Yep.
Boston Bruins, in the 4 outdoor games that they have played, this is counting Winter Classics and Stadium Series games, the Bruins are 3-1. They have 14 goals for, 11 goals against, and they're roughly at a .75 for percentages. This is both teams' fourth Winter Classic, I believe. This is the second time that Fenway Park has hosted a Winter Classic as well.
That's stupid.
Yeah. The Winter
Nothing
Classic
against
though,
Fenway Park, but like part of the perk of these is to see other places. You know, I mean, like last year's was at the Twin Stadium, which is an outdoor stadium.
I
don't
don't-
do
yeah,
that
and
shit
I don't
in
think that
Minnesota.
they've-
It's fucking stupid, but
And it
There
makes sense
are
because
only-
you can only put that in Boston because there's only one outdoor stadium in Boston.
yeah.
I understand that.
Because
Just
Gillette
like there's
Stadium,
one outdoor stadium in Minnesota.
oh, Gillette Stadium also hosted one, and that's in Foxborough. So that's the only places you can really put stadiums in, unless you go to like a Boston College or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, which is fair.
Which, by the way, there's only ever been 14 teams to play in the Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Well, it's
out
not
of all
that
the teams
old
in the
of a-
league.
Because
It's
when
been
was
going
the first
on
one again?
since
2008.
2008.
Yeah. So as long as my son has been alive. So yeah, only
But that's no,
But
because
so
the
that's
Boston
20
Bruins have
that would
appeared
be
4
28
times.
teams. Yeah, that's
The
stupid. It's
Chicago
28.
Blackhawks have appeared 4 times. Penguins 3, Blues 2, Rangers 2.
I'm gonna say the
Caps
Rangers
2.
have been in a few times. Red Wings have definitely been in a few times.
I mean,
yeah, and I think because it at least
I think that they need to spread the
started,
wealth.
it felt at least initially that it was all East Coast teams.
Yeah, the Sabres have been in
or
too.
it was always held on the East Coast, minimum, if not the
Yeah.
teams. And so, at least they came a little bit further west last year.
I mean,
but
they did play in Michigan twice.
Okay.
In 13 and 14. So like that's a little bit more. They played in St. Louis and Indiana. They did play once.
What's the St. Louis has been in it twice then?
In
St.
Texas.
Louis has been in it twice.
And twice in Minnesota.
They've done it twice here?
Oh, just kidding. Once. It was going to be twice. It was supposed to be in 2021, but it got postponed.
Oh, yeah, because the delay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which really it's canceled. It's not postponed.
But yeah,
Right.
I will say
the
the Wild
2021 Winter Classic was in 2022.
Yeah, the Wild have been in 2 outdoor games if you count the Stadium Series that they played at TCF Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
They are 1-1.
Yeah. I'm looking at just the Winter Classic
Just the Winter
as
Classic,
opposed to
yeah.
all outdoor games. But the Winter
and
Classic
the Wild,
itself.
playing outside, especially for our team at least, isn't anything new. I mean, they do outdoor practices where fans can come and stuff all the time.
Right.
So it definitely wasn't that. It didn't help that it was on New Year's Day last year. And, we thought it was cold this last week here. It was colder last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have heard me talk about my grandmother and what a diehard hockey fan she is. She did fall on the escalator and break her elbow, so that did take partly into it before the game even started. Mind you.
Damn.
She didn't know it was broken. But she left early, which is not something my grandmother ever does. She does not miss a Wild game. She does not leave early from Wild games. So the fact that she was that cold and in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it's middle
to
of
leave
fucking
early.
January
Plus,
in Minnesota.
We lost 9-0. We got fucking stomped on by St. Louis.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, by the way. But I mean, they're fun. I like the Winter Classic games. They are fun. It's fun to see people play outside and it's something different. And I agree with D. I wish that they let other teams play. I mean, that's 28 potential different teams, and you said 14 have done it.
14.
And my dad and I,
until we've hit everybody, we should hit.
That's the thing is my dad and I over the years have discussed that we think every team should play in it at least once. And I don't want to hear the bullshit of, oh, well, teams in Southern California can't do it. Yes, they can. They've played outdoor games in both Northern and Southern California, and the ice has been fine. So I don't want to hear that shit.
I'm
but
sorry,
still, you can play it
half
anywhere.
of the league is made up
colder
of people either from like Russia or you know what I mean, like these really cold fucking countries.
You
You're
can
telling me
play
they
it
didn't play
anywhere.
back home. I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teams like Florida and Tampa and Nashville. Nashville was fucking in one. They made it work. Like every team should play in one first before another team gets a second chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Or a fifth fucking chance.
Or
for
a
some teams.
fifth chance, yeah. If
I
you're
will
the
say
fucking
though,
Blackhawks.
part of the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is in looking at the television ratings. So when it first became a thing in 2008, it was aired on NBC and it had 3.75 million viewers. And from there, it kind of like stayed around that area with the highest it's ever grossed being the 2011 Winter Classic, getting 4.5 million. And that was because it was a Caps versus Pens game, which is obviously going to draw that crowd.
And it was a fantastic game.
That was the big like OV versus Crosby.
That was also the game that
Get
Crosby left with a concussion. And then he got elbowed. Whether it was accidental or not, there's still that weird debate. But he got elbowed in the head, and then a week later got elbowed again, and was out for a year and a half. So that game was like.
Well, from there, like it dips.
Scandalous.
So it's not an immediate nosedive, but by 2015, they're back down to 3.4 2.47 million.
yeah.
And then 2016, 2.78 million. And most recently in 2022, they only got 1.36 million viewers.
I
on
think
TNT.
there's a
that fucking
lot of
game
reasons,
sucks, let's be honest.
but I think there's a lot of reasons behind that. I think there's the fact of
But that was also a big rivalry game. That was Blues versus the Wild.
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge, but especially, I mean, I know that they're not talking like fans in the stadium. They're talking views.
Yeah,
No,
so
TV
that you
networks
would think that
views.
it would be
TV,
like
Right.
more people because it is a rivalry.
I think a lot has
but
to
nobody
do with-
wants. I don't even know like if Blues fans would have enjoyed watching that game. Like I honestly like I've had games, you know, where your team, you love to see your team just stomp on people now and then, right? But
yeah.
it's not fun hockey to watch. I like the back and forth. I like the, you know, where it's exciting to watch. So for, I think even some Blues fans watching them fucking kick our teeth in, very
Right.
violent today apparently.
Well, I
don't
think another
they-
thing
a lot of
too
people tune in.
is
Plus, it
like
was New Year's
one of the
Day.
reasons why it was so high in 2011
Oh,
was because it was rescheduled to prime time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the games
Yeah,
aren't
that's
scheduled during
true.
prime time.
They're
which
midday.
is a huge miss
Yeah.
for the NHL.
Yeah.
Like I know licensing
Well-
is more expensive to get that.
This
to get
game's
that
And they're
also
not on
on
regular
January
channels
2nd on a
sometimes either.
fucking Monday in the middle of the day.
Well, so
Right.
normally it's on a Sunday.
It's it's normally on December.
normally on a
It's normally on January 1st. This one's on January
Yeah.
2nd.
It's
Which I
January
think
1st
is a
unless
better-
January 1st falls on a Sunday, and then it's the following day.
Yeah, so it happens to be January 2nd, which to me I think is a big miss as well.
Yeah.
I think if you
actually
put this
think
game
that
prime
they
time,
might get better views.
if you put this game on prime time,
having it on the second. Yeah,
I think a lot of
the time of day is.
I think a lot of the
Yeah.
the issues with ratings are the fact that people are seeing the same teams every year.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
that
absolutely.
definitely can play. Like up to 2011, you're still only seeing I think the Penguins were the only repeat team, if I remember
Right.
correctly at
well,
that point.
and back then in particular, I mean, it was like,
Still fairly new.
Yeah.
well, but it felt like when people talked about hockey back then, it was like the Penguins were hockey, and that's
The
not
Penguins
fun
had
for
just
those
come
of us
off
that like
a Stanley
other
Cup
teams.
victory 2 years prior.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, 2
You know.
years prior, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're also not the only game in town. And so for it to feel, because everything I remember leading up to and even after was all talk about the Penguins.
Yeah, because
and
they
Crosby.
were one of the top teams in the NHL. Yeah.
Well, right. And I get that. But there are other teams in the league.
Oh, of course, and that's
Right.
why I
So,
think it
for
was
you to-
big for ironic timing for the Bruins to be involved this
Right.
year because the Bruins are the best team in the NHL.
They are. Which
Well-
I was not necessarily anticipating out of them this year.
I think also they're missing out on an entire market too. Like the reason why the Heritage Classic game came back was because for years and years and years, I mean, you didn't have a Canadian team have anyone play until 2014.
Which I believe
So it had been around for
Canadians.
6 years before
Yeah,
you
it
got
was-
a Canadian team in. And so the Heritage Classic was like, people were like, well, fuck that. I want to watch my Canadian teams play. And so
Yeah.
if you're not incorporating them, then yeah, you're not going to get fucking Canadian viewership, who those are some serious motherfuckers about their hockey.
oh my God.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they're missing an entire market by limiting it so much to just
Right.
these few teams.
Right.
Who was
Absolutely.
the team in the first winter,
So
first Canadian team?
in 2014 it was the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's right, it
And
was
then
Toronto,
in
then
2016 it was the Montreal
Montreal.
Canadiens.
Yep, that's right.
Those are the only
right.
two
teams
Canadian teams that have played.
That's right. See, and again, this is where they should.
And again,
you
they've
know.
each only played one game
Yeah.
Right.
in the however many years.
Here's the bigger
So-
question.
Which I don't
What's-
mind, but
Yeah.
then you have everybody else who's played fucking forever.
What are
Right.
what are our predictions for the game? D, I guess we'll start with you.
I think Boston's gonna win it. Mostly because that's what I want
They're-
to have happen.
Well, and they're
Um,
in Boston.
They are
You
in
know,
Boston.
I mean, if
That-
they were in Pittsburgh,
yeah.
it would be a different story per se. I
agree.
mean, Boston's still, they're thankfully close enough that you still get a lot of like Boston fans in Pittsburgh. You'll still get a lot of Pittsburgh fans in Boston.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be well attended because that is a holiday still, so a lot of people have work off. So I think like as far as attendance at the game, it'll be fine. Do I think it's going to be well watched? Probably not. And the only reason I say that is because it is on TNT. TNT bought the broadcast rights to it, and TNT does not have the best commentators, in my opinion.
No.
They do have Gretzky. I'm not sure if Gretzky will be on that show in specific because
He'll probably be in like in the studio.
He'll probably be a correspondent for like
Yeah.
a segment or something. But I'm not expecting any big blowout. I know there is a little bit of a rivalry there between the Penguins and the Bruins just because of proximity more than anything else, really.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be anything that's like a must-watch game, I don't think it's going to be like a blowout game necessarily. Like, I don't think it's going to be friggin' whatever game it was where Tage Thompson scored 6 fucking goals. You know what I mean?
25 goals
like,
in the game.
I don't think it's going to be that kind of
Right,
a game.
yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to see like a 3-2 victory or something.
So
like that.
let me throw some stats at you.
Okay.
The last 10 games, the Boston Bruins are 7-1-2. In the last 10 games for Pittsburgh is 7-2-1. The last time these two
they're
played,
like even footing.
yeah, they're both playing really well. The last time these two teams played was November 1st of 2022. Boston had a come from behind victory and won the game 6-5.
Okay.
Both these teams are right now on a scoring streak.
Yeah.
Both teams are playing really well. I mean, points leaders, David Pastrnak in the last 5 games has 8 points. Crosby has 5. Both goaltenders are looking good. Jari's been playing really well. So was Linus Ullmark. I think we're going to have a really exciting game on our hands because Pittsburgh started off the season rough. They're a playoff team right now, but Boston's been consistently hot all season.
I think I agree, and I think Boston's gonna take it.
I think Boston takes it again. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's gonna be a low scoring game though. I think because they are very evenly paired. Yeah. I think that the scoring's gonna come down to the goalies, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
I
team
think
wise,
we're gonna see a lights out game from these goalies.
Oh
that's
yeah.
why I think it's gonna be 2-3. I don't think it's gonna be because of lack of opportunity.
You
Well,
think
you got
that they'll
two
just play
of
on a
the
different
top
level?
10 goalies in the NHL.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and Tristan Jarry has proved it since last season and this year, and Linus Ullmark, whether he plays or if Swayman's back, I don't think Swayman's back yet, but if he
I think
is,
Ullmark will get the nod just because of how well he's been doing. I don't think they're gonna fuck with that.
I agree with Danger. I think we're gonna see a fireworks show. Obviously, everyone knows the offensive power that Pittsburgh has with all of those talented players. Boston has been on a tear. Like, I think we're gonna see
don't
fireworks.
think we're gonna see it on the scoreboard. I think maybe we'll see it on the ice. But I don't think we're gonna see it.
It's gonna be a physical game. Very much.
It'll be a physical game for fucking
very
sure.
much.
It's going to be a chippy game, as I always like to say. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it'll be interesting to see. And a chirpy game. And chirps are the fucking best of hockey.
Yeah.
January 2nd, guys.
January
2 p.m.
2nd on TNT.
on TNT. Watch the Winter Classic. Because I know I'm going to be watching that shit from work.
Yeah.
Because that's how dedicated of a hockey fan I am. I know they would both do the same.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Watch the game. You know you're not going to want to miss it. The Winter Classic special.
Should we talk about some naughty boys?
We should talk about some naughty boys.
Sure.
I'm going to start with the naughty boys instead of the injured boys.
Okay.
Just because I want to...
There's not a ton
Mason
of them.
Shaw, the fuck are you doing? My brother.
Yeah, now it's time to call out one of your own, like I had to do last month.
Right?
Not fun, is it?
It's really not. And I'm surprised by Shazi. And from what I remember, I think this was after... Yes. After the accident, I slept through this game. I'll be perfectly honest. I totaled this show doesn't know. I talked about it last show, D&D, but I totaled my car last Thursday, so I slept through this wild game. I didn't see what he did or what I remember. Long story short, I fucking remember it being controversial, so I might have to go back and watch it to see. Because somebody I know online was like, he didn't knee anybody, blah, 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 whatever. You know how fans are. But anyway, he got suspended for 2 games for kneeing against San Jose. He is surrendering $8,108.00 of his salary.
Honestly, the lowest we've seen this season.
Especially for a 2-game suspension. We've seen fines lower,
lowest was
but
2 games for $10,000.
Yeah.
For
and Mason Shaw, I mean, he's a rookie. We brought him up from Iowa. He's fucking killing it. But yeah, because the slashing with Zegras was just part of his
Right.
fine. He didn't get
Yeah, it
suspended.
wasn't very nice of him to do.
Yeah.
Because he slashed
Yeah,
the
none of
shit
these-
out of
yeah,
It
Zegras.
wasn't
This
very
is the
nice of him to
lowest-
do. Yeah.
He
I
is
like way
the
you phrased it.
lowest salary loss that we have seen so far this season.
Yeah.
Which is what it is. But yeah, I mean, $8,000 is $8,000. I mean, $8,000 would fucking change my life
True.
right now. So I'm
Fucking big same.
right.
Same.
The other naughty boy we have this week is Mikhail Sergachev. He got a $5,000 fine for slashing Michael Bunting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was pretty blatant.
I missed that one too.
Bad.
So I apparently
Yeah.
need to like go back and watch. I love watching like hockey fights and fucking
It
things
was
that
so
people
aggressive. Like,
Was
there
it just
no
overly
need.
aggressive?
There was no need.
Yeah.
I love it. And then going on to our hurt boys, I feel like this might be a long list, y'all. I apologize in advance.
We're prepared. Bring a snack. Yeah.
So for Anaheim, first we have John Gibson, who is out indefinitely, undefined ailment. Then we have Max Jones, moved to IR list with an upper body injury. He will remain sidelines until at least early part of January.
Yeah, he won't. They don't need him right now, so best to
Right.
keep him out, keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Anthony Stolarz, expected back early January. I think that we've talked about him before, but
Yeah, Stolarz again. They're gonna keep him out just to make sure he's
so
fully.
they
Yeah.
now assigned him to IR list with a lower body injury. But beginning of January is kind of when they're expecting him back. And then Urho Vakanananen, that's all you're gonna get from me on his name. He missed the last 3 games with an illness. Not sure if he's gonna dress tomorrow, which is the 28th, Wednesday, against Vegas. So,
Mm.
but it's a good thing that he might be back.
Yeah.
Moving on to Arizona, Matthias Macaletti, lower body injury, expected to miss 6 weeks of action. Liam O'Brien is out with an upper body injury, expected to return beginning of January.
Boy, I bet he's not Irish.
No, not at all. Good old Liam O'Brien.
Liam O'Brien.
So that was all we had for Arizona. Boston, it's still just Matt Philippe Flop, who has no picture either, which freaks me out. I don't know why. Buffalo, we have Eric Comrie.
Yeah.
I believe is how you say his last name. He is on IR with a lower body injury. Expected back early January. It feels like early January is so very far away. It's like fucking
literally a
next
week.
week.
I know.
Yeah, it's next week and we're in January, y'all.
Yeah.
This is
Insane.
insane. Our next show is in January, but I still can't wrap my head around
Right.
the fact that it's not.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, we'll even record the next one in January. That's crazy. Okay, so
Yeah.
Eric Comrie out to early January, a couple weeks. And then Owen Power. Go Power Ranger.
You know what's funny? That is a great last name. You know, there's a race car driver whose name is literally Willpower.
Nice.
How
That's awesome.
amazing is that name?
That's a great name.
If his like tagline is it I have the willpower to be here.
I
or
mean,
to
I don't know.
win,
He just won the championship last year in IndyCar, so it's
well, there you go.
he's
He has the
fucking
willpower to win.
willpower. What a
He has the willpower
what
to
an
win.
epic name.
Fucking amazing. So Owen Power is a lower body injury. Expected back early part of January as well. It doesn't say he's listed on the IR, so
Okay.
maybe he'll be back, but who knows? Moving on to Calgary. Fuck Calgary. I say that only because of my family that lives up there. And Calgary beat the shit out of us when we played up there. Dennis Gilbert is the only new one. He is on the IR with an unknown ailment, remaining idle until at least the beginning of January. So it sounds like might be middle of January.
Does he have a high idol or a low idol? I'll see myself out. It's fine.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. Get
We
the
don't
fuck
need you.
out of
You're
here
fine.
with your shit.
This is
That
motherfuckers.
was awful. I apologize.
God
for
damn
all
it,
of
these
that.
motherfuckers.
For Carolina, we have nobody new. Still Frederick Anderson and Andre Koss.
Kasha.
Nobody new for Carolina. For Chicago, I think we did talk about Tenorti. but he is officially on IR after having that facial fracture surgery. I do remember vaguely now talking about this because I wanted to see if he got hit by a puck or what. Which I think he is. He's the one that got hit and just dropped that we watched last week, I think. So for Colorado, they're having it a hard time right now, guys.
For real, though.
Pavel Francouz, one of their goalies. Jacuz?
Jacuz?
This is how I always, like, every time, especially D, because it always seems like it's D that says it.
It is me. Jacuz?
So Francouz sat out the last game with a lower body issue. Unknown if he will be able to participate. They play, what's with everybody being against the Kings? They play the Kings on Thursday.
I mean, you got to play them at least twice a year.
I guess.
Right, yeah. But it's just funny that, like,
I mean, do we have to?
I know. You guys are lucky. You don't have to. You only have to play them twice. Yeah. We have to play them a lot more.
We play them like 3 or 4 times, I think.
No.
I think we play them like 7 times.
Yeah, it's always a good game though. We talked about Darren Helm last week. Martin Kaut or
I think it's Kaut.
Martin.
I think it's Kaut.
Marty.
Okay, Martin Kaut.
Marty.
Marty got caught at the
There you go.
Idle due to an upper body injury, we don't know when he'll be back. Out indefinitely as of the 27th is what that says.
Said that.
Nathan McKinnon.
McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon.
But it's Mac, not Mick.
It's pronounced McKinnon.
No, but he
I don't fucking give a shit. He spells it Mac. He's
Christ, he's Scottish. It's McKinnon. From the McKinnon clan.
He's Scottish. Is he Scottish?
No.
McKinnon is a Scottish name.
Yeah, but he's Canadian.
He's from Nova Scotia.
He's Canadian.
But that doesn't mean that he's not of Scottish heritage.
I don't fucking give a shit.
His last
He's Canadian. It's Mac.
Anyway,
it's Mac.
What's Mac out with?
I don't know. I scrolled up. Give me a second.
This is going well.
So he is on IR with an upper body injury. Will miss at least 4 weeks. So he is expected back early January. Valerie Nikushkin missed last game with a lower body ailment, and up in the air if he will be able to lace up against the Kings on Thursday. Going on to Columbus, you have fucking half your team out, man.
Yeah, I did.
Igor Chinikov is on IR with a high ankle sprain. I think we talked about him last week, but this was the 21st, so close enough.
Yeah.
Expected to miss at least 6 weeks of action. But that sucks because early February is when they're talking about him.
Yeah.
Elvis Merzlikins. Elvis
Which is funny that his name has leak in it if he's a goalie.
I know. Dude, Merzlikins is like my favorite goaltender name right now.
But he is questionable for Thursday's game against the Islanders. He missed 2 games with an unknown illness. So hopefully he's feeling better. It is that time of year. So, Cole Sillinger. I really wanted to say Slinger because it's funnier, but I believe it's Sillinger. Has been activated from the IR list after recovering from an upper body injury. Remains to be seen if he will be back Thursday against the Islanders, though. So he at least is off of IR. That's the last new one there. For Dallas, we talked about Nick Camano. Okay. He's expected with that back surgery back early January. And then Dennis
Gurianov.
He is on an indefinite leave of absence due to a personal matter. Was he the one that you were saying?
I think he had a death in the family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's not the one that just joined the player assistance program.
No. I think he had a death in the family. Which is a good enough reason to go on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, we just don't know when he will be back. But take your time.
All the best wishes to him.
Yeah. Honestly, Dallas is looking pretty healthy right now, so take your time. Your team will be able to hold down fort. If you played for Columbus, it might be a different story. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, take your time and just get in the right headspace. For Detroit, new ones. Honestly, we only have one new one, or new update, I guess.
Yeah, they made it
it's
weird because
Jakob
he's
Vrana.
been. Yeah, Jakob Vrana is off of NHL player assistance. So it's weird that they phased it that way, but from what I understand, he is he should be back on January 6th against the Panthers. He's going down to their AHL.
I think he's going to play. Yeah, I think I was just
stuff.
going to say he's playing for Grand
Right.
Rapids for conditioning.
Yeah,
Sure,
3 games
which
for
makes
conditioning
sense.
with
Get him back into it.
whatchamacallit. Yeah.
But yeah, because I
So he'll be
remembered his name from before, but I think they
Yeah.
just still aren't rushing his return, which is a good thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
We said it once, we said it a million times on this show. The NHL really seems to like take care of their players when the players need stuff. For Edmonton, we have Philip Broberg, who is out with an ankle issue, expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks, so mid-January for him. And then Ryan Murray has been shuttled. I love how they word things.
Dude,
on
shout
this
out to the
website.
CBC.
Yeah.
I love it, man. He has been shuttled to the injured reserve list with a back injury, expected to miss 1 month. So, coming from somebody with chronic back pain, fucking.
Oh, and Murray's a big loss for them on defense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. And still no update 100% on Kane. We'll keep watching that.
we'll see him probably.
Yeah.
We love to
somewhere
hate
in
Kane.
March.
March, yeah.
I'd say March.
Expected March. But as far as I know, I mean, I know he had his surgery. I don't think he's skating even on his own yet, but he might be.
Nope, he's not skating.
Even just skating at home. But going on to Florida, we have Alexander Barkov, lower body injury, expected back early January. I think we talked about him too, but
Yeah.
the ones that are on the cusp,
Updated.
you get them all, because I don't know which ones we talked about, which ones we did. So if I can deal with it. Aaron Ekblad exited the last contest with an upper body injury. Not sure if he'll... they play Montreal on Thursday, so they don't know if Florida's going to have him lace up or not.
Be smart not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the last new one for Florida, too. So all things considered, they're staying pretty healthy as well.
Yeah.
For the Kings, we have Quentin Byfield is out of commission with an illness, remain out of
Makes him
commission.
sound like a robot. He's out of commission.
He's out of commission, yeah. And that he will remain out of commission until early part of January.
He will remain out of commission.
It's like nobody's going to send the tech over to, like,
Right?
you know,
No,
unplug him
we
and
can't
plug him back
reboot
in.
yet till
Yeah, sorry
after
about
Christmas.
it, Quentin.
And then Arthur Kaliev?
Kaliev.
He got hit. He didn't get shuttled. He hit it. The IR list with an undefined injury, unclear.
He hit it
when he's
real
gonna
good,
come back.
real hard.
He hit it hard, man. And then Trevor
really
Moore,
running.
absent last game with an unknown injury. Not sure if he will dress when the Kings play the Avalanche on Thursday. Moving back to Minnesota, Duhaime is still hurt with that upper body injury. Hopefully he'll be back beginning of January. Marcus Foligno, my moose crossing shirt on for
I
Moose.
know.
He is on IR with a lower body injury. Nobody, at least fan-wise that I've heard yet, knows what the fuck happened. It might have been in practice, might have been at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
But yeah, they've been off for a few days. And then they played Winnipeg today in Winnipeg, and he didn't travel with the team. So hopefully not a long time. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that he's listed on the IR.
Right.
Yeah. And out indefinitely isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, not
That's a scary
not
thing.
good words to hear.
Right.
For Montreal, who is new? We talked about Brendan Gallagher and Emil Heineman.
I think we talked about them all.
Nobody knew.
I think
Yeah,
that's
They
the
just
no
have
new
people
injuries for
sitting,
Montreal.
just, all of
Yeah.
them super injured.
Yeah. I am still really interested. I keep forgetting to look more into what happened with Price. I used to schedule PRP injections all the time at my old job.
It's just over
So for
years of
something to-
abuse on his knees.
Right.
That's what's causing it. I don't think.
Well,
he
and I
plays
think it's
again,
just
honestly.
bad wording, because the wording of this makes it sound, and we can cut all of this
Yeah,
too, but
well,
the
he
wording
had
of this
he
makes
had an
it sound
injection.
like he had a PRP injection, but it makes it sound like that's what did him
Yeah,
in.
no.
But a PRP injection is platelet, or platelet-rich plasma.
They
plasma-rich
say
platelets.
he's in danger. He's 100% not playing this year.
Oh yeah,
Carey Price probably won't suit up again as a pro goalie.
So yeah, Matt Duchene's the only one out for Nashville currently, and it's not even an illness. Well, only new one out. I should clarify. I apologize.
Personal.
Only new one out. May or may not suit up Friday against the Ducks. Apologize for the
There was some brief
downside
confusion for a second there.
There was.
It was
don't
have to worry
the timetable. Like on typo on
your boy
CBC's
got really scared for a second.
he thought he missed his own team playing. He almost watched my team instead of his.
I did watch your team play instead of mine.
Did you watch the whole game?
The third period.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, right. Anyway, so going on to New Jersey, we have Nathan Bastian did shift to the IR list with upper body injury, not expected back until beginning of January. So I think he was out as of last week, but not officially on IR. Ryan Graves is out indefinitely with a lower body injury. And John Marino, sidelined with upper body injury, considered week to week moving forward. Update on Clutterbuck. As of the 21st, he also has been shuttled to the IR list with an upper body injury. We'll
the
still
NHL must have a big shuttle to send all these
right?
dudes.
Is it like absolutely. A bus or is it a plane shuttle?
I
That's
hope
what
it's
I want
a
to know.
party bus.
Fucking
The New York Islanders definitely have a fucking party bus.
You know the Islanders have a party bus.
You know the Islanders have a party bus.
Can I be a part of that party bus sometime? Simon Holmstrom, who must be a rookie because he doesn't even have a picture either, missed previous game with a knee issue. They Thursday played the Blue Jackets. Again, I love whoever writes these. Leaving his availability for Thursday's showdown versus the Blue Jackets.
Clouded.
Someone just needs more entertainment in their life, and they're like, no one reads anyways.
We're just gonna fuck with hockey fans.
We read it, and we appreciate the time and effort.
Whoever you are at CBC that writes this, thank you. You make our podcast more exciting.
Kyle Palmieri, again, shuttled with Clutterbuck to the IR list with an upper body.
At least they have buddies on that shuttle together.
Right? We now have four players. We should keep it like ticker almost of like who hit the IR, who's been shuttled to it, moved. I'm a nerd. I know, it's fine. I'm also the nerd that would put that ticker together if somebody was interested in it. But he too, he's up in the air. Upper body ailment, up in the air if he will return before the beginning of January. That's for Kyle Palmieri. We talked about Adam. Robin Sallow? Robin Sallow. Sallow the last two games with an unspecified injury. He, as well, they are not sure if they will be back against Thursday. As well, they don't know if he will be back Thursday against the Blue Jackets. Simon...
Semyon Varlamov.
She said. Was moved to the IR. He's not invited on the shuttle. With a lower body injury. Team officials haven't yet to provide an exact return date.
I bet Semyon is a blast on a party bus, though, to be honest.
I bet Easy would be. I think goalies in general are probably a lot of fun on the party bus. Yeah. And then lastly, we have Oliver Wahlstrom. Was airlifted?
I just imagine someone picking him up like a little baby.
Going to carry you.
Like a little baby.
Like a little baby.
Yeah.
So he was lifted from the previous contest with an unknown ailment up in the air if he will play versus the Blue Jackets on Thursday. Fucking mint.
I love it.
The Rangers have no injuries.
And we still kick their ass.
Right?
Eat it.
For Ottawa, we...
That was so aggressive.
Jacob Bernard, doctor, I think we talked about last week too,
so
but he is going to spend at least a month on the IR list with a high ankle sprain. Eric Brandstrom?
Mm-hmm.
Strom.
I bet he got called Brainstorm a lot.
Oh,
I'm sure. He is questionable for Thursday's game. He missed 2 previous games with a leg injury, and they play D's team. He's tame.
On toes.
Thursday's clash against the Capitals, which is fucking amazing. Way to word that.
We'll fight
Clash
you.
against Capitals. This is an amazing name, and I'm gonna probably butcher it, but Rourke Chartier? Chartier? Charter?
Yeah,
Charter.
the H is throwing me
Cartier.
off. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's Chartier.
I think it's
Cartier.
Cartier. Like, I think it's supposed to be like Cartier. I
Yeah.
apologize, Rourke, if I'm saying your name incorrectly.
Fuck
Rourke, email us.
Email
us. Drop into the
send us an
Discord.
email.
Even fucking better. Come party with us on our non-existent party bus.
We
I'll
could have a
create
party
one.
bus at some point. Let's be real.
We
Yeah.
should just fucking, like, balls out, like, RV for LTN Media and just make it into a fucking party bus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Content house kind of thing. But he is on the IR with an upper body issue. Not sure when he will be back. Matthew Joseph, we talked about. Tyler Mott landed on the IR due to a broken finger. He broke his fingy. Not known
Is it the fingy?
when he
Hey,
will be back.
as someone who has broken a fingy, it sucks a little bit.
Not fun. Yeah, it's not a fun time.
Knock on wood, I've never broken a fingy, so
Dude,
I can't.
I've
don't
only
break a fingy.
fractured.
It sucks.
I fractured my thumb. I don't think
I've done
ever
that
officially
too.
broken a bone.
I've hurt my toes real bad, stubbing it on something.
I'll have you know I stubbed my toe and only
You
cried
know,
for
I
5
stubbed my toe
minutes.
real bad.
I've stepped on Legos with my full body weight, which is a lot, okay? It's not fun. I would love to fucking see that on this injury list. Marcus Foligno is
stepped on a
out for
Lego.
an unknown amount of time. He
Stepped on a Lego.
Stepped on Legos that his kids left out.
Yeah.
Or had stubbed his toe
For fucking
after
sure.
the dog ran in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You got a big owie.
He has an owie.
I apologize for how
CBC, if
all
you're
over the fucking
listening,
place this podcast is this week.
Please,
I'm
the
in
next
rare form
time
today. I
anyone
apologize.
has some sort of lower body injury, please just update it with, he is out with an owie. Please, if you're
I
listening
might
with an
just
owie.
anytime it's an undetermined injury, I'm just gonna say
He went
it's an owie.
he went to
He has
Weenie
an
Hut
owie.
Junior or Weenie Hut General, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Weenie Hut General.
Oh my god.
All right, let's
Um,
get let's reel
Yeah,
it in.
Nikita, help me. Zaitsev.
Zaitsev.
That's
Zaitsev. All right. Last for the new injuries for Ottawa is Nikita Zaitsev. He was forced from the last game with
Forced.
a lower body ailment. Not sure if he will dress against the Caps on Thursday.
okay.
Again, I love the writing here.
Yeah, thank you, CBC.
Yes. Carter Hart. Sorry, moving on to Philadelphia, we have Carter Hart, who is questionable for Thursday's game against the Sharks. He as well was forced from the last game with an upper body injury.
I mean, that's tough though for Philly to lose their starting goaltender.
Their goalie. Well, and Felix Sandstrom is also hurt. Their other goalie is questionable against the Sharks for Thursday. He was held out of the last 2 games due to an illness. Again, probably syphilis. Sorry, Felix.
Likely syphilis.
I gotta work that in at least once a podcast.
Yeah, it's I mean it's
'cause
fair.
it makes someone out there that listens to us,
Giggle? I
it
hope.
makes them giggle.
I
And
hope
it's
they
that
find
one
something.
person out there.
Or I hope they
for
think
you.
it's fucking stupid. Either way, let us know if you guys
Either
think
way,
the syphilis
fucking deal
joke
with
is
it.
funny,
I'm
and
gonna
we'll
keep
just
saying it.
ignore it.
Yeah. Let's move on
For
to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, we've got they're all questionable Wednesday, which is funny to me. We have Josh Archibald, who missed the last 3 games with a lower body injury. They played the Red Wings on Wednesday, so they don't know if he'll play with the team on Wednesday. Ryan Poling. I'm gonna pretend like
Poling.
that's correct.
Poling.
Poling. Pulling. I do that with Brody all the time. I call it Brody and Brody. Anyway,
Fucking golden.
it was like the one Pokemon I hate probably the most. But I laugh every time I'm at a wild game because I go Brody and Brody. Anyway, Ryan Poling, we missed the last 2 games with an upper body injury. And then Chad
Ruedel.
Ruedel.
Great name.
Weedle. We were just talking about Pokemon too. Chad Ruedel left the last game. He wasn't lifted. He wasn't forced. He just left.
He just
He was
left.
just like deuces.
With an unknown injury,
Bye.
which now we know is an owie. So he left
Yeah.
the last game. He said deuces because he got an owie. But he as well, they're not sure if he will play against the Red Wings on Wednesday. For San Jose, again, nobody really knew. I think we talked about Luke Kunin last week, but he is on the IR again after undergoing ACL surgery. Will miss the rest of the season.
Right.
Seattle, nobody knew either.
Great.
I love it. For St. Louis, only one new one. Torrey Krug landed on the long-term IR list with a lower body injury. Won't come back until at least the beginning of February. So that's always a bummer to see.
Yeah.
Go
I'm going to say, I think before recording, Dee and I were talking about Krug hitting the long-term IR, and I was like, that's not good for St. Louis.
No. Couldn't happen to a better team. For Tampa Bay, again,
We did talk
nobody knew.
about.
We talked about Rudolph
Balcers.
Balcers.
And then the Brent Seabrook thing has been since October. So
since October, so nobody knew. For Toronto, we have only two new. Nicholas Robertson is expected back early February. He has a shoulder injury, which so he is also on long-term IR, going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Rasmus Sandin is also on IR with a neck injury, not likely to return until the early part of January. So it thankfully doesn't sound like it's a major neck injury, but you don't want to fucking...
I did see that the Leafs did move Victor Met to the IR.
Yeah.
Was a lower body.
IR.
Lower
I
body.
missed that one.
I think we talked about him before, but he was just
We did, but I totally missed it because I thought it said 10. I don't know why.
Yeah, so he'll be back probably in the next couple weeks.
Beginning of January, thank you for catching that.
Got you.
For Vancouver, again, nobody knew. That's why I thought it was January, was October, because Travis Dermott was the only other one, but that was the October one I was thinking that Victor was. Anyway, that's my brain does weird things. For Vegas, they're having a rough go of things as of late.
It's not
there's a lot of people out too, almost as many as Columbus. But Paul Cotter, hit IR list due to an upper body injury, no timetable, so out indefinitely. We talked about Jack Eichel.
Have they specified what it is? Do we know?
No. Well, at least CBC hasn't. I haven't seen anything else.
I don't know if there's any press releases that came out. Yeah.
As long as it's not his neck.
Yeah.
We've already seen that. Yeah.
Oh, lower body. Perfect. Not to discount how serious lower body injuries can be, but
like the guy had neck surgery in the off season, so I'm happy it's not the neck.
To see that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we have Jonathan
Marchessault.
Marchessault. That's kind of a fun way, a horrific way to spell it.
The T.
And I get that it makes sense. It's probably French or something,
Yeah.
Jonathan Marchessault sat out previous 2 games with a lower body injury. Not sure if he will lace up for Wednesday's game against the Ducks. And that's it for new ones. They're still missing Nolan Patrick, Shea Theodore, Shea Weber, and Zach Whitecloud. And Robin Leonard, which is the other big one.
And Leonard ain't playing this.
Losing Leonard really sucks.
Same with Brett Howden, but Howden's probably not coming back till the beginning of the year anyway.
Yeah, early January. But we had talked about him. For the Caps, Dee's poor team.
I know.
You're also having a rough go of things. Well, not as bad.
I mean,
but...
only 2 new people, but they're 2 integral people. Even when I have my issues with John Carlson.
Right.
Honestly, if you've seen the video, he got a slap shot to the face by former teammate Brendan Dillon, which you could just tell Brendan felt fucking devastated by it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't intentional.
There's been a lot,
it was freak fucking accidents. But yeah, it was blood everywhere.
God, your teams
the
just
one that
love fucking up my fantasy hockey team.
Yes, the NHL is against your fantasy hockey team, Chris. Specifically you. The NHL collectively was like, we're going to fuck over Chris.
Fuck that bald ginger.
Because that's the important thing here is Chris's fantasy team and not the health and wellness of a well-known hockey player
I'm trying to win.
who got hit in the fucking face.
Play for keeps.
Which sucks. But no, there have been like 5 people this year alone that have gotten like a
Yeah.
Taking hits
slap shot to the face.
yeah.
It's
Luckily,
like, that's scary.
he was released from the hospital. His wife posted a picture of him with his 3
Good.
boys Christmas morning, and
Good.
he seemed mostly fine. I mean, as fine as you can look in a picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But
Well,
he
being
is out
released from
for a little bit.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
not sure when he's coming back.
But yeah, it
That
doesn't
shit
say that he had to have any surgery or anything, unlike Tenorti, who had to have like that jaw surgery or whatever.
Yeah, he went to the
face.
doctor, or he went to the hospital for precautionary reasons, but
Yeah.
they released him, and as far as we heard, there was no surgery needed. I think it fucked shit up in his mouth, but it didn't break skin.
Oh, yeah.
Like on the outside of his face. His face, there's no stitches or nothing.
Right.
yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
The only thing there is to watch, like, not that hockey players really give a shit about their teeth as much.
Yeah.
But I've learned that with head injuries and stuff like that, you can, like, that can cause abscessed teeth even years later. Like, that they think that's partially why my teeth went to shit, was because of my head injury from my horseback riding accident. Who was the other new one? Because the only other
Oshie.
updates that
I was gonna say
okay,
Oshie.
that's what I thought. So yeah, TJ Oshie sat out the last 3 games with an upper body injury. Will not suit up. They played the Rangers today, as of
Yeah,
time
he
recording,
didn't
so
play this
Which is fair.
evening against the Rangers. We still kicked their ass, but we're hopeful to see TJ back soon.
Yeah.
It's
And
still
hopefully Wilson
unknown
back soon.
exactly what happened. Yeah,
Tommy Tom.
Wilson.
They're saying
hopefully
potentially-
next week.
Yeah, beginning of January.
Yeah.
I would say probably like the week after. But you said before he's skating, right?
He is. He is.
Still non-contact?
No, he's in a contact jersey now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's always a good, like, that's like,
It's a good sign.
yeah, the
Yeah.
green light before you get the official green light, is when
Yeah.
you're in a contact jersey. So
And then shortly after that, we should see Backstrom back as well
yes,
in mid-January.
yeah, he is expected back mid-January, which is exciting because
Yes.
once you guys get those 3 back,
Mm-hmm.
and Oshie, I mean, he was out for a while and then was just out for those last 3 games,
Yeah.
but yes, I would say to
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And then lastly, we have Winnipeg, who Cole Perfretti. That's
Perfetti.
really, my brain does not want to do that.
Perfetti.
Has an upper known injury. This is the most specific I've ever seen on CBC. Expected to miss 7 to 10 days.
Wow.
That is the
All right.
most specific I think we have ever seen.
CBC sorting your shit out. I'm here for it.
Right?
Yeah.
Or just has a great insider with the Winnipeg team. That might be it too.
Bit of both. Maybe a little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
They watch them. They're like, yeah, I live in Winnipeg and I'm married to their trainer. Like, if that's at all true, but it might be. And then so we have Cole out. And that's really the only new one. We have Nate Schmidt coming back late January, but we talked about him last week. He had a concussion. And then Blake Wheeler has that groin injury that he had surgery for. Expected to miss a month. Expect back mid-Jan.
Rip
So-
groin. Literally.
Rip groin. That is probably what he did.
It's
Yeah,
probably
he
what
had a
happened, dude.
fucking
That
surgery
shit
to fix it.
sucks.
Yeah.
His syphilis was so bad it ripped
Rip this
the
groin.
groin, and he had to have surgery to fix it.
Oh man.
God, we spread
That's
too many
fucked up.
rumors.
I'm so
Me
sorry.
too.
You NHL
Syphilis according to us, syphilis is rampant
It's rampant
across
in
the
the
players. It's
NHL.
NHL.
rampant in the NHL. I swear,
AHL
I
is fine,
honestly have
though.
like
They've
more
been safe.
respect for you guys.
The
like,
AHL is good. It's just the
Syphilis.
NHL.
But it's funny to me. So
Don't play in the show, guys, if you don't
Killing
want
that joke.
syphilis.
But yeah, so that's what I have for injuries. We're getting a little hairy again, which we had a
Nope.
couple of weeks where it was quick lists and
That's fine.
Yeah, this week it just wasn't. So, I think it is time for our question of the week.
Perfect. Let's get into it.
So,
What's that question?
so obviously with the Winter Classic coming up, I thought I'd pose this question to you two lovely ladies. What two teams would you like to see face off in a Winter Classic? Danger, we'll start with you.
Hey, I'm not prepared.
I wasn't prepared for this question. I was woefully
No, because
unprepared.
I was trying to research something quick. So for who I would like to see, I agree with myself from earlier. I just realized.
Self, you're right.
Self,
Yeah.
you done good. And Chris did say this earlier as well, but I would love to see some, other teams like further away from the East Coast get to play. I would love to see Vegas, to be honest. I'd love to see it in Vegas.
So there's
I think that would
rumor.
be a lot of fun.
There's a rumor that
Is it?
next year it's going to be Seattle and Vegas hosted in Seattle.
Oh, no, I think that was confirmed now.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I know
I
it's
think it's
heavily
confirmed.
rumored.
Yeah.
The NHL
Which,
probably
honestly,
come out
that
with
would be
something
great.
afterwards, but from what I'm hearing, it's a very likely situation.
I saw like pictures of it. So either somebody did a very good job of making a very believable like article headline thing with pictures and the whole thing, or it's not decided yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's
I don't
nothing.
either.
Nothing's been confirmed.
Yeah, I
but
remember
there's a
seeing
very
something
good
though,
chance.
so it must have just been a fan made thing. But yeah, I think I think Seattle Vegas would be phenomenal. I love what Seattle's been doing, especially since adding Sibui. We talked about that earlier, and I think Seattle's just a fun team to play.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they have the
They
best
don't
name
suck.
in the fucking NHL. Let's be real. The
Yeah,
Kraken
yeah.
is the
Kraken is
coolest
fucking
shit.
amazing.
That is pretty cool.
So I would love to see those two go at it. Now I feel like I need somebody else since they're rumored, because I forgot about that. And the only other ones would be, it might be kind of fun to do like a California battle and have like Anaheim, or the Sharks and the
Anaheim
Kings
has
play.
yet to be in it. Neither have
Yeah.
Kings or the Sharks.
Sharks.
The
So
closest Anaheim
but
has
like I think
gotten
that could be a
is
fun little winter classic.
is a stadium series. That's the closest Anaheim or any California team has gotten, which they've played.
Right.
They've played those games outdoors and showed that it's worked. So that would be cool.
yeah.
But to add another level to it, take those like, Californian teams and put them like in Minnesota or in Alaska or somewhere really fucking cold where, yes, they travel here a lot, but it just would be funny to see both teams out of their element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and I think I talked about this before when they've, just with other people, but like there's something about watching an outdoor hockey game with palm trees around that is not hockey feeling. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think honestly, so I'm opposite. I think
could
it'd
do
be the
it.
coolest fucking thing on the planet.
I think it would be cool, but it doesn't feel hockey to me. But again, I've been born and raised in Minnesota, so hockey season is cold season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just something. But I think that could be fun is to do like a battle in California, with two of those three teams.
So I personally would like to see something like Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Oilers. Two people who have been rumored to be, cup contenders in years past. I think that would be an incredible matchup. And honestly, having someone from as far south as Florida and as far north as Canada, I think would be interesting as well, especially if they put it in Canada. To have Floridian players have to
play in the cold weather,
adjust to the freezing cold of Edmonton specifically. But any of the Canadian teams that we haven't seen yet, we haven't seen the Canucks. I'd love to see them. Maybe like Canucks versus Stars. The Stars have played before. They've had one appearance in 2020. But yeah, again, we talked about it earlier.
Seen Calgary either.
Teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Calgary
think
would
because
be
the
fun.
Heritage Classic is still a thing, I would avoid for now the Canada versus Canada matchups.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
do Canada versus US.
And the Heritage Classic games are usually really good. So
They are.
They are. But I do want to see us playing Canadian teams more, and I do want to see more teams that we haven't seen yet, which includes teams that suck. Teams like the Coyotes. I think that they should get a fair shot. And teams that have played 4 fucking times, like the Blackhawks and the Bruins, honestly need to take a goddamn seat.
For real.
Just because
Well,
I think
yeah.
that's insane.
Oh, so they are including this. Okay.
They're
I
including
didn't realize
this
that they
most
were including
recent.
this
Yeah.
year's in here. Because I was
Yeah.
like, well, Boston's looking at their 5th time.
Boston's
no, that's
looking
a
at
lie.
Boston's looking at their
Boston's looking at their
5th.
fourth.
I fucking
No,
love that Chicago
Pittsburgh's
has
looking at
never
4th, yeah.
won.
No, they're 1-5
They've been
in
there
outdoor
4
games.
times. They've never won an
Yeah.
outdoor game. Fucking dead hawk.
The only one that they've won is a Stadium Series game, and I think it was against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So when it matters.
And I, of course, I would love when and if it comes back to Minnesota, I hope I can go. It's just really iffy. New Year's Day or around, that weekend, we'll say, or that week, in Minnesota. So that's the sucky part of it.
I'll tell you what game would be fun.
What?
In your opinion?
I think you
bitchy.
guys
I
are all
apologize.
going to agree. Carolina versus New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
New
really
Jersey, I
good-
was thinking too.
Two top teams right now. Both are top 10, top 5 in the league.
Both
doing
of which
battle?
haven't played before.
Yeah, both of which have never done it. You could definitely host it at MetLife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
because that is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So here's a question, just a random thought that I had. Welcome to my life. But would you like to see whoever wins the Stanley Cup in that next year's Winter Classic?
This is something I thought of
Mhm.
earlier today, and it's funny you brought it up because this brought me back to my thought. I feel like it would be fun to have a rematch of the previous year's Stanley Cup Finals and have those two
that could be
teams
a fun-
meet in the Winter Classic.
That could be
Yeah.
fun. Almost even if it wasn't one of their regular season games, it might be fun just as an additional thing.
Right.
I don't know, but yeah, I think that could be fun.
Yeah.
As long as it that you don't fall into that pit of with
Right.
Tampa Bay won 2 in a row. Right? It was the Lightning that won the 2 Stanley Cups.
Yeah, they won 2.
did.
They've been to the last 3, but they won 2 in a row.
Yeah, but won 2 in a row. During COVID. So I
COVID
wouldn't want to
Cups.
see right. I wouldn't want to see that.
No.
Actually, we didn't play that bad against. I gave the Wild a lot of shit earlier. So please leave this in. If you leave in the shit talk I did earlier about our Winter Classic game, we only lost 6-4.
Yeah, no,
I
it
honestly
was
thought
a
it was
lot closer of a
9-0
game than you thought it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I legitimately thought that it was a blowout game. It wasn't bad. So I apologize to my team.
For talking mad shit.
For talking shit. I just like
You
to
were
keep it
talking-
real.
yeah, you were saying
Sometimes
some
you
shit.
deserve to have shit talked. But yeah, no, I think that could be
definitely do.
fun. I agree with the Heritage Classic thing. I wouldn't want to see 2 Canadian teams play anyway.
No, but they should
in
add
a game like
Canadian
this.
teams.
But yeah,
Yeah.
to put them into the rotation. Whether we play it in the States or we play it in Canada, I don't care. But I think it should be a States team and a Canadian team, not 2 Canadian
Yeah.
teams.
Agreed.
Unless we can't avoid it. But yeah, I agree. I think Edmonton would be fun to see play. I'm trying to think who I would pair up against Arizona in a Winter Classic. Because I would want it to be, a relatively evenly
Right.
paired team, which I think is why they pick the teams that they do, is because they are usually evenly paired.
Right.
May not be year to year, or that specific year, but
Well,
And I think they
then,
postponed the
Blackhawks,
Heritage Classic to next year. I don't think they're having one this year.
maybe not.
They might have. I haven't seen anything about it.
I
To
don't
be honest,
believe-
because I think
I-
they're just doing the Stadium Series this year.
Yeah, I believe next year is going to be Calgary and Edmonton, if my sources are correct. But I'm as far as I'm aware, I don't believe they're having one this season, which
Okay.
sucks.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Which is just funny. So, this has been going around for 14 years, but they've only had 12 games because 2 of them weren't played.
Yeah.
The first one was 2013, which when it was postponed due to
'Cause of the strike.
the lockout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the real OGs remember what it was like with no hockey.
If you guys want to get your questions submitted to us, hit us up on our socials. Or
Yeah,
hit
dude.
us up in the comment section. Hit us up on leave us a voice message on Anchor.
Fucking send a
get
carrier
hold-
pigeon.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
I'm down for a message for
want
an owl.
Specific.
From
Yeah.
a letter from an owl. Because I'm a Harry
Fucking
Potter
Hedwig
nerd,
in this
and
bitch.
fuck you.
Yeah.
But no,
Fuck
we
you.
definitely want to hear from you guys. So send us your questions. You may be featured on question of the week.
Yes.
We'll shout you out.
Chris, who is our obscure player of the week?
Thank you for asking. Our obscure player of the week is a man by the name of Randy Exelby. He was a
Great
goaltender.
name too. Axelby.
Exelby. He was a
Just wanted to
goaltender.
say.
His career lasted from 1987 to 1991. He had a breath, like a deep breath, in the NHL. And by that I mean he played 2 games
a
in his
long
entire
sigh.
fucking career.
He had 1 inhale and 0 exhales.
Literally.
No, like one of like he had a game where he inhaled, a game where he exhaled, and that was it. Like he
Yeah.
was then
He
done.
played
Yeah.
he played 2 games in the NHL. He
Pretty
has a
amazing.
record of 0 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties. Because in the 90s, it's still
But he,
tie.
let me guess. He
Yeah.
fucking won a Stanley Cup, didn't he?
He played for the Edmonton Oilers in 1990, and they won a Stanley Cup.
Wow.
That year.
That's fucking crazy.
63
I mean, he just wasn't on the
minutes-
bench for it.
Yeah,
but,
he
like,
wasn't even
Yeah.
there. He played 2 games. 1 game for
Yeah.
them, I'm sorry.
But he was listed, on their roster.
Yeah, he was
So
listed on their
he
roster at
hurt?
some point
And
throughout the season.
that makes me wanna. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah,
Forgot the
so
parameters.
he played
Yeah.
for the Montreal Canadiens and he played for the Edmonton Oilers in his career, which lasted a whole 2 games. He has a goals
the entire
against
2 games.
of 5, goals
Oof.
against average of 4.77, and a save percentage of .833. Not great.
No, he got
He
his
did
ass
spend
kicked.
most of his career in the minors, and he actually had a pretty good career in the minors, until it ended in 1991. So shout out to
Shout
it
out to
says that
Randy.
he started a chain of hockey equipment shops in Arizona called Behind the Mask.
What a
this
great name for
was
a
in
hockey
Yeah,
shop.
great
1994.
name.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
um,
That would also have been a great fucking podcast name.
Dude,
Behind
for
the
real,
Right.
Behind the Mask. It's too bad none of us
Was
were
he a
goalies.
goalie?
He was a
Yeah.
goalie.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's too bad none of us are goalies. But yeah, he's got
I'm not
a
one, but I
whole bunch of
love-
stuff set up business wise in Arizona. So good for him. Randy
Good for you,
Exelby.
I'm
Randy.
sorry,
is-
Saki.
What?
Can you try that again?
I'm sorry, hockey sucks so much in Arizona, and
Yeah.
now I feel like Arizona just needs to refer to it as Saki because it's
Saki.
in
Yeah.
Arizona.
Sucky hockey.
Saki.
Saki
Saki.
hockey is Saki.
There you go.
Because that's what my brain tried to combine the words.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for breathing in the NHL and blessing
Literally
us
took a
with
breath.
your existence.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
so
We appreciate it.
fucking cool.
No one else wants to acknowledge you, Randy, but we here at Pucked Up,
We-
we acknowledge the little guys.
Yeah.
Acknowledge. Pucked Up acknowledges you.
Pucked Up
Right.
acknowledges you.
We want to thank you guys again for coming out and hanging out with us. Chris always does an amazing job of editing. You probably won't be able to know that this was a little bit of a shit show. Not in a bad way. ADHD is just a thing that exists. And
And for those that aren't aware, we're approaching like 3 hours of record time.
yeah, and it is like 12:30.
But you guys will never know because it won't be that long for you.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So, thank you for hanging out with us. We certainly love you guys. We love doing this. It's relatively new still, but seriously, we have so much fun hanging out. We love that people are enjoying listening to us fucking talk hockey.
And like the whole
again,
the
it's
whole
just- we're
premise
three
of this
fans.
started with the 3 of us just talking hockey anyway.
We're just
And
three
then
friends
we
that
were
talk
like,
hockey. Yeah.
why don't we just
Legit.
fucking do this as a podcast? And
Yeah,
this has
dude.
been the most fun I have all week.
Right. I'm right there with you. And it's just, it's a lot of fun to not like worry about the statistics and the,
Absolutely.
points of everything, because my brain doesn't
Yeah,
remember
dealing
those.
with all
But
the
to just to
live
sit and talk the
stuff.
shit that I do know about,
Right.
which isn't much when it comes to things, but
I feel
I
that.
can give you my opinions and tell you to
Yeah.
fucking deal with things. But
But
anyway,
I can look pretty on
thank you.
camera.
I mean, I try. I look like I played hockey. I am Miss DC. But thanks again, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Don't forget to post those questions of the week that you may or may not, or even if it doesn't hit to be a question of the week, we might answer it off air or whatever. But any questions you have, shoot us a message, DM us,
comments, whatever. We want to hear from you guys.
Discord, whatever. All of our social information is down in the description.
Always check out the
Again,
merch store too. Never
yes,
forget the
merch
merch store. It's dope as fuck.
Yep.
Some things might not make sense if you don't watch any of the other content LTN Media puts out, like on Twitch and YouTube.
But that's a good Kickstarter
It's a good
for you guys to go watch that stuff.
It is. We have things that say #butt stuff on it. Watch the videos to find out why. Other than we have that kind of sense of humor.
Facts.
Also, thank you guys.
Thank you guys for being a part of our first year. This is literally our last show of 2023, or I'm sorry, 2022. I'm already skipping ahead to next year. This is the first year of LTN's existence. So thank you guys for everyone that listens to this, for everyone that supports us on all our Twitch stuff, on YouTube, on any podcast. Like, thank you guys so much for being here.
We appreciate you.
You mean more to us than you'll ever know. And this has been an amazing first year, and I can't wait to see what 2023 brings for us.
LTN Media, for those of you that don't know, we have a lot of different modes. We have ADHD. What can we say? We're doing a different thing every day of the week. And that's
our company is fucking ADHD and encaptured in media.
The beauty of LTN Media is we have ADHD. But no, like we do so many different things and can bring in different people. So we love that you guys are a part of this. If you want to be a part of everything else, check us out.
And we're all the best of friends too. So getting to do this with some of my best friends is the coolest thing. And this is we bring this product to you guys. So thank you guys for being a part of this first year. It's been pretty magical.
It is crazy to think about. I hadn't yet thought about that this is the last show of the year, and the fact that like all of this, I mean, even the idea stemmed in 2022.
And as of time of recording, we literally only have 2 more live shows, live streams of the
check
year.
Us out. So again, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. We hope you all had an amazing holiday, a safe holiday. Don't be like me and total cars. But at the end of the day, again, we wouldn't be here without you. I mean, we would still be talking about this shit, but it wouldn't be nearly as much fun as
it wouldn't be worth it without you guys watching us. So
exactly. So hang around to see what next year brings. What kind of shit and trouble can we get ourselves into
I can say from a little sneak peek for those that listen, there's a possibility that come the start of the year there might be 5 new podcasts launched. So just be on the lookout. You never know what crazy ideas the 3 of us or Dave, who isn't involved but will probably be on the podcast at some point. The 4 of us.
He's involved in all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But he's learning hockey, so
you never know what tomfuckery we're gonna come up with,
Exactly.
Instead of tomfoolery, it's
tomfuckery.
Love that. Also merch idea.
Can't steal that. Letterkenny said that first.
Oh, fuck. But anyway, this whole project, for lack of a better word, has changed my life personally, and I know I think I can speak for Chris and Dee and Dave on that too.
Right.
And that it's changed things, and it's been so much fun.
Great.
So thank you for being along for the ride. And as always, we will see you guys next week in the draw circle.